We open up uh, at the scene of a party from which some of the party has just fled. There are broken windows, there are flames still licking through part of the house, and the uh, the party is all a clamor about, the most exciting thing that's happened. Everything has been, you know, hors d'oeuvres and small chatter, and then suddenly there's fire and gunshots, and it's feeling a bit more like a Freeburg party. um, and there's sort of like distress. There's, oh, who was that? Like, oh, I thought I saw Anjay. Or was that young lady from, uh, who was talking to the matchmaker? And uh, Wilhelm Kurtz is kind of staring out the window when a hand grips him from behind, and he turns and kind of starts to see Rosencreuz and Redmond both looking at him. And Redmond says, "The young lady came with you, did she not, Mr. Kurtz?" He says, "Young lady," he says, "the young Vodacci woman." Um, and he like, yes, yes, she was my guest. Um, I've been I've been providing her some vocal lessons. Um, and Rosencreuz kind of like says, "So you are in league with the witch?" Um, and Kurt's like, "Witch? No, no, she was simply a guest of mine." And that's where we're dropping the cold open.
Guys, fucked.
No.
um, Thank you, everyone, and welcome to the Shadow of the Wactturm, a 7th edition, first edition Let's Play set in the great lawless city of Freeburg. Our art is courtesy of Hero Forge, first edition 7C and Be Funky. Our producer is one of the moderators of Dirty 20 Gaming, the delightful and compassionate Gloriosa, and our lore master for the series is the beautiful and benevolent Sipra. Before we get started, I wanted to give a content warning. While the spirit of 7C is swashbuckling adventure and shadowy intrigue, the story will deal with mature themes, including death, loss, suicide, and grief. Eisen, our setting, is recovering from a 30-year civil war over religious differences. It may get dark sometimes, and there's no shame in bowing out if it's not a place your head can go at the moment. So without further ado, I'm going to have our savvy swashbucklers introduce themselves, starting with Rosa, since I think she's going to have to run in just a moment.
So, let me pull up my notes. Hey, y'all, my name is Sarah. I also go by Sans on the Discord. I am here a total of 3 times a week for the Tuesday game, Cyberpunk Red, Carnage Heights. I am Magic, Broken Heart of the Team Silverlock. On Thursday, I am the DM for the Fool's Gold campaign, King's Pyrite. The finale is hopefully going to be this weekend. That's all I can hope for. And here on Sunday nights, as the witch Rosa Nix, the horrid lady, I'm also working with the Scarred Adventurer on stuff and things over on Tango Productions that I hopefully will come out eventually. I'm going to mute myself and disappear.
Oh no. Okay, we're gonna go with
right.
Runa next. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, all right, I'll just go. Normally we hot potato this, but Rose is a little extra distracted today. That happens. Hi, folks. I'm back, Kyle. You can find me here on Sundays. This is obviously the right day, playing Len or Sura's ass Costin. Because really, he just got that cake and for the motherland. He does other stuff too, but that's really his claim to fame currently. You can find me for Thursdays in the King's Pyrite, a Fool's Gold campaign, at least for one more episode, hopefully. Playing Badge's Newth, the saltiest, angriest, kind of most pessimistic hero there ever was. But he gets the job done. And otherwise, you can find me on our oh so wonderful Discord, posting all sorts of unhinged food memes and generally being a menace. And other than that, you can probably find me in various places on Twitch, modding for and bullying various streamers. Over to now we can do Runa.
Hi, I'm Ruth. You can find me here on Tuesdays as Exit Resident Fixer of more than just what her job description actually is. She doesn't know how she feels about it. On Thursday, I am here as Des Rye, violence enjoyer. Yeah. And today as Runa, the one who can touch lightning. I need to write this down. Otherwise, you'd be hard pressed to find me. I am chronically offline. Sometimes I am in the Discord. I'm gonna pass it over to Honorine.
Hello, everybody. Let me make sure I can hear me through the stream. I am Honorine, and well, I'm Glory, Blaze of Gloriosa. Where the hell is my? There we go. There's my sound control. Okay. So I am here one night a week. I am playing tonight our friendly neighborhood noblewoman / the witch that gets everybody in trouble. I just
Not this
do.
time.
No, this was also my fault, honestly, because of the fire. They don't like the fire thing. It really sets them off. They get super triggered by it, so it's my fault.
Yeah, I'm afraid to say the party has lost some influence with the Court of Staves, as opposed to gaining it.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because usually people who are in like the higher echelons of stuff are looking for excitement that doesn't like put their lives on the line. So like, are we sure that we lost some influence? Because I think that's a gain influence kind of thing.
Notoriety, influence.
Notoriety. What did I say? Resident noblewoman, here only tonight. Tip your waitress, try the veal. Let's do Rory next.
Hello, everybody. I'm Rory. I'm also here only tonight, playing our wonderful and on the wrong side of the town for all the crazy shit that's going on, Soldier Boy Hans Ulricht. Aside from gaming here with these fine folks every Sunday, you can find me on Twitch streaming because I've recently found myself with much more free time than previous. So I'm actually, gonna bang out a schedule this week and maybe even get the first episode of The Basement up and streamed. First episode's gonna be a big mega set. Probably, kind of test the waters with this plan I've got. But yeah, aside from that, I do have post partially finished or even finished stuff on SoundCloud every now and then. Making music is taking a bit of a back burner for the moment, but there's hopefully going to be stuff that I dig up from my archives on there soon, at least. So yeah, that's me. And I think now it's time for Gav.
Which is me. Hi, I am Bison_Stonefist. Tonight I am playing Gav, the first date Grin. He is our big lovable dumbass. Other than that, you can catch me on Tuesdays. I run our Cyberpunk Red campaign, Carnage Heights. And I use the term run extremely loosely. It's more hang on for dear life, and hopefully I can bang out a story in the 5 minutes I have to make it up because I got thrown another curveball. On Thursdays, I play Encino, our big damn hero on King's Pyrite. He was the guy who absolutely would have made the campaign 3 times longer because, he just wants to help people. But he didn't, and now we're fighting a dragon. Other than that, I am often in the Discord. If you need to be entertained for at least half an hour, ask me a question about Warhammer. Or just any nerdly thing. If I don't know it, I'll find out. And that's it. To the boss. Which is
All right.
I was just gonna say, which
Yeah.
boss are we referring to?
So I normally just skip over myself, but I am actually playing in a campaign right now. Friday nights, the Up the Creek game. I play Anchors Away, our zombie fighting automaton. So I should be back to that relatively soon. I missed the last game. I was very sad about it, but okay, so let's get started. We are still kind of in pursuit of a single, the last event, so we're just kind of picking up where we left off. We have Rosa and Honorine kind of doing a midnight ride through the city, taking horseback. I don't think either of you are actually like driving the reins, so to speak. You're both passengers.
I don't have
Can
a
you hear me?
problem with wrapping my arms very tightly around. I just heard that, Rosa.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready for me to put your camera back on the overlay.
I'm back. I'm good.
Oh, okay, let me do that now. But anyway, Honorine has no problem wrapping her arms very tightly around the rather fit body of her escort. Just FYI, just for safety.
And Rosa is, has her waist available Anjay has her waist available for Rosa.
Yeah, Rose is holding on.
Yeah, and Anjay kind of she says, by chance, do you know how to reload a pistol?
No.
Kind of she's like, all right, and she kind of like twists herself. She like hooks her leg on the saddle so that she can like lean off slightly to like hand the reins back to Rosa. That you see she starts like fishing into her cleavage and like pulling out like a gunpowder bag and like starts like reloading her pistols as she goes. It's a fairly impressive like feat of dexterity to do. And Tori is kind of like, if I could just, I know we're a bit exposed here, but you haven't been loading your pistols with clay rounds or anything, have you, Anjay? And she says, nope. That person definitely took 2 bullets to the chest and didn't flinch. And Tori kind of like nods, like, okay, so I wasn't seeing things. He says, I'm feeling pretty good about the call to retreat. But he looks towards Honorine and Rosa like, do you have any idea what was happening?
All I know is that she grabbed Rosa and looked mean.
They were talking about killing the real Wilma Prost.
Wilma, what? That was...
No. It not. I look at her card, it not Wilma. I know Wilma.
And Honorine clearly has a moment where she's being tested. Where she's like trying to figure out whether Rosa has been perhaps a little addled by all of the excitement in the tight corset or not. But she saw what she saw. And there's like a visible, like, I assume, I don't know that Rosa knows Honorine well enough to know this, but maybe just from doing readings and stuff, like, she can pick this up. Honorine, like, is making a conscious choice to choose to believe Rosa and, like, take her side. Because the alternative is really not a very pleasant thing, and not something that she wants to go for anyway. Like, she'd rather believe Rosa anyway. So there's this entire, like, 3-act play on her face.
And Rosa seeing it, just, I did not believe it when I heard it. It was not until I saw the card myself that I was certain.
Anjay has like the stick to like, shove down the pistol to make sure everything is loaded properly, like between her teeth, and she kind of like spits it out for a moment. And she's like, "What was different about it? I don't know sorcery. I'm not one myself, but
Every person have different card, or well, not every person, but many people do. When I looked at hers, it was unlike any card I have ever seen. It was not even in a language I could understand.
And she's fireproof, so that's something we found out.
Anjay kind of like bullets too."
We need to find Wilma Prost. Get this information to her.
Henri's gonna turn to. Are they in the lead? Is Ettore in the lead while Captain? I was just gonna say something bad. Anyway, while the captain is reloading her pistols.
She's not a captain, but the Professor Thirstrap.
Yes.
Thirst.
Anyway, so they're in the lead, right? So she's
Yes.
gonna turn to Ettore and be like, get to Gertrude's. Get to where Len lives. Len and Gav. No, not Len and Gav. Len and Hans. I don't remember what district it is, but Honorine actually probably doesn't remember either. She's like, get to the place.
She's right on the edge of it, Druckenmest.
Yeah,
So
get to the place with the houses with the woman,
Where
the matchmaking woman.
Where the other party was.
Yes, that's what I said.
And Anjay kind of like laughs and she's like, "Oh, good. 2 parties in one night."
We may be bringing some, I think as they say, bad luck to the second.
I think I'm officially uninvited from any of Redmond's soirees in the future, so.
Who says that?
Anjay does.
His loss.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
Anjay kind of smiles and she's like, "I'm not terribly disappointed about it." And Ettore kind of like, it's usually work to get her out to a party at all. And she's like, "Yes, because things keep happening." And kind of just shoots daggers at Ettore. There's sort of some lighthearted like banter between them, like as the ride is going on. You know what I'm saying? Sort of like hints of like different ways they've had to exit parties previously.
That one time when you had your pants around your ankles.
There is definitely the insinuation of kind of like one of the two of them, although it's not clear which one, was definitely betting the wife of the host.
Arthur's like, I'm gonna take notes.
And the reason it's not clear which one is because neither of them seems to like fully remember who it was at the time, because they had both been with the wife of said house.
That's what I was gonna say. It was
it just wasn't like at the same time. They didn't remember who was specifically with her at that point when someone came barging in with a sword.
The
and a
other
gun.
one's hiding in the closet.
So cutting over to where Hans is kind of like outside of the room while Wilma is kind of like getting the update from Len and Runa. completely innocent to like what's going on elsewhere. But Hans does see the arrival of the only person who actually shows up in like a knight's tabard. Although from everything that you've seen, the Knights of the Rosy Cross always wear their tabards. It's like they're never off duty kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that checks out.
Dietrich Proust is in his 40s. He's got like gray in his beard. I think I have a picture of him up. Let me see if I got that as I thought I did.
No, he's one of
No,
the
I
ones you
didn't,
missed.
because I'm terrible. Okay. He is let's see. Hans knows by reputation that he's also known as a blacksmith, like that there's an actual smithy like in the Knights of the Rosencross house, and he makes swords for the knights. There is a reason like Eisen is called Eisen. Like iron is prolific in its 2 mountain ranges. There's a lot of blacksmiths, you know what I'm saying, in the cities, but Dietrich is definitely noteworthy amongst them. And he only provides his swords to the Knights of the Rosencross. So
Okay, very exclusive. Well
oh,
then.
what was that? Everybody okay?
Get down, Mr. President.
Well, maybe don't.
Oh.
He looks like a little sort of. Do you know what I mean when I say somebody looks like they're not sure of their invitation even after they're there?
Yeah,
like just
me.
that sort of like. Yeah, there's a definite vibe of like somebody. I mean, he's definitely like dressed for the part and well attired and everything like that. He just you don't have the impression that he's a guy who like would come to a party unless it was a requirement.
Yeah, that sounds about right, honestly.
Let's see.
I may not bombard
He's
him
got-
with. Was there another detail you were going to add in? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Just like you see his arrival, and he seems to be kind of just like making his way towards like one of the small snack things. He comes kind of like face to face with like a drawing of Len from the backside, and is like
Yeah.
it looks a little bit like, oh, it isn't that kind of party, is it? Like,
It's like, oh,
Like just like
he's
me
not
for real.
just like what have I
He's not
got
like
myself into?
it's just definitely like a feeling of like worried about the appropriateness of him being there. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I just threw up a picture of him.
That's fair. Okay.
There are a few people that sort of approach one of the benefits that the Knights of the Rosencross have is they all basically have a free reputation die that is like positive reputation that even if they don't have the reputation personally, they can still use. The reputation of the Knights of the Rosencross is that good that it's just a universal bonus.
Nice.
So
Yeah, that's pretty solid. Yeah, I won't necessarily bombard him immediately with an introduction, but I'll let him grab some snacks and kind of get settled in a little bit, and then kind of stride over and get his attention. Oh, good evening. Good evening. There we go. Good evening, Herr Proust. Good to see you this evening. How are you?
an evening to you as well. Says I don't recall having had an introduction.
I do not believe we've had a formal meeting yet. Kind of stretch out a hand. My name is Hans Ulrich. I have.
A man I have heard of by reputation.
All good, I hope.
He says on 2 accounts. He says one from our newest cadets into the Knights of the Rosencross. He says, and second, I understand that you are to be the captain of the guard in Finehearth.
Indeed, yes. It is. Still takes a bit of adjustment, I would say. Kind of settling into the responsibility. I hate to you know ask to talk business in a sense on the eve of merriment and whatnot, but there is a bit of a situation I would not mind.
Look, there's almost a look of like relief on his face. He's like, "Oh, some grave matter."
Unfortunately, yes. There's well, if you have,
Just sort of like grabs like some water, like or not like water,
Yeah.
but like some the most watered down wine that's there. You know what I'm saying? Which is like because nobody just serves water. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because it's usually dangerous.
It's
So
usually not very good water.
you know, and like a leg of turkey and kind of if there's someplace it would be better suited.
Perhaps, yes. I will. Well, I suppose just follow me, and I'll lead him back to the rest of our troop at this party to kind of get him introduced and caught up on the goings on with the Verschlingen.
And he kind of like somebody who's so much more used to like spending their time at work, you know what I'm saying? And like wolfing down some food and getting back to things and stuff like that. Like the whole idleness of parties is like something he has is what he has the hardest time with. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
so an excuse to be away from it, he's grateful for. But he comes into the room where there is Len and Runa and Wilma at this point. He kind of, he bows his head very respectfully to Wilma, clearly knows who she is. Or they've been acquaintances or friends for some time.
Well, he'll kind of go around, introduce, and then have kind of turns to Wilma. Have these two kind of caught you up on current events at this point?
Wilma kind of like, I think as much as is possible. And Dietrich is like, Dietrich Proust. Runa, like one handshake, that's a blacksmith, since that's your craft skill. You don't even need to be told.
With the texture and the firmness of the handshake. The texture.
Yeah, like the blacksmiths don't try to do the like a crush your handshake. Like they know they're good.
Yeah.
There's
don't need to prove anything. Yeah.
Delicate firmness.
Mm-hmm.
She meets him with the same handshake.
Yeah, and he does look sort of like evaluative of it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not unheard of for women to be smiths, but it is definitely like more unusual. Does that make sense? So they're like the look is not like I don't believe. It's just like a did I gauge that correctly? Kind of sense. Does that make sense? Just because it's more unusual, not because it's some like belief on his part that women are unsuited for.
They have people going to check the schematics for the sewers in that area to see if they can find a likely nest for the Verschlingen. We will need men soldiers, fighters at many points to keep it from escaping if it decides to run rather than fight. Though what I understand from these things is they will generally choose to fight because they generally do not lose.
I've heard of these beasts by reputation alone, but I've no experience encountering them.
As far as we know, they are a nightmare to fight. It is. I know it would be asking a lot to inquire about your involvement and potentially some backup should things not go as planned. But I mean, we would be indebted, most grateful, however much we can. But to assist you would be.
Wilma speaks up. She says, "The stakes are very high, Master Knight. The creature is capable of poisoning all of the water throughout Fine Hearth. He says the city's most troubled district by far. This is you have my blade. He says, if there was a way to stop such a creature without slaying it, I might prefer it, but sadly, sometimes such things are necessary. I will, if there's time, I will go to the knights and I will see if anyone is available to assist.
Runa's trying to figure out if it's an improper time to ask if she can apprentice under him. And she decides probably yes.
Yes. There should be time. We cannot move on at this instant. Likely not until tomorrow at the earliest.
This is, we've pursued kidnappers into the sewers before. There are a number of junctions that could be sealed off. If enough iron was brought with, I can provide bars as well. He says lengths of it, he says, which could be put across some of the grates to close them off, make sure they could not be opened from the other side.
That is helpful. I cannot. Our only member who has experience with them is not with us currently, but I think they can corrode metal with their presence. I thought that was a thing. They can at least destroy flesh.
They may have.
An adult's bite is acidic. That's how poisonous it is.
Okay.
Oh,
The little ones we don't know yet. Probably
potential for acidic properties,
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, bites are, at least for the oldest ones, acidic, terribly so. The bars, even raw iron, may only stop them for so long, but we'll take what we can get.
Just desperate times.
Yes.
He kind of crosses his arms thoughtfully and he says, there is also, if it does attempt to flee, I have less experienced cadets and knights in training that could be posted throughout the area to try to keep the peace and try to keep some calm.
That would be helpful. The main issue is that once we have dealt with this one, there's another one just outside the city in the forest. And that one is eventually will need to be dealt with too before it decides to make the same change of location.
Understood. Do you have some advice as to its capabilities that I can pass on to those that I'll be distributing orders to?
The air around it is, if not directly poisonous, very caustic. Not good to breathe. They will need face coverings, eye coverings, if possible. The bite is, even the young ones, I imagine, is poisonous enough to signal death if directly hit. Possibly lingering death if not directly hit. Think a giant, fast snake that's not afraid because it knows it can kill anything.
Delightful. I will sleep very well on that. He says, I can have men into finer hard and ready to join in your venture within 4 hours. I will meet you at the Freeburg Gazette. I recall there was an entrance to the sewer near there.
Yes, there is one, probably, unless they find a closer one, probably the closest to where it's likely to be laying.
He kind of says, I must give my apologies to Gertrude before I go. Then I will be on my way.
Dankeschön, Herr Braust. This is most appreciated, especially on such short notice.
It says, for matters of public danger, he says, never fear to call upon the knights, Rose and Cross. And he turns and goes.
This is some good news.
Better than I expected. But this means we need to get that information from from Gavin Hannelore as soon as possible.
Indeed.
Give
Runa,
me, as he's leaving, I would like one more wits and keen senses roll from everybody that's there.
Oh,
okay.
Can I use craftsman?
No.
Okay.
Wow. Oh wow. That's a 9 for me.
A 7 for me.
20.
Oh, nice. Someone hopefully
Um,
notices.
So Len is the only one that is going to get it, which is that as the door opens and he moves out, just as that's happening, he hears the sounds of somebody's footsteps moving away from the door that likely was listening or eavesdropping on the conversation.
Can he dash out past the guy and see if he can catch a look of who's running?
Felix, God damn it.
They're being subtle about it, so they're probably not in like a full sprint at this point. But I will give you, we'll call it a finesse roll. Finesse, and but I'll let your hunter actually go in on this since you're just trying to catch somebody by surprise.
That's all right. We actually got something with this one.
I think there's another one at this party. Another imposter.
Aliens.
Oh.
21.
Ooh.
Okay. You catch sight of them. They catch sight of like that. You weren't subtle about bursting out. You know what I'm saying? And so there's an Avalon woman. I don't think that Hans has ever shared anything about somebody that he thought had a crush on him, right? Like Len's completely unaware of that.
No, I don't think he's ever mentioned the stalker before.
Yeah. So to Len's eye, it's just an Avalon woman that he's never seen before that's just sort of immediately like go around a corner at the moment Len is kind of going after. So you can turn it into a chase sequence if you want, or you can let them go.
I don't know that the ruin mage has any accomplices. Did Len at least get kind of an idea of what she looks like?
Yeah, and definitely like an extremely nondescript Avalon woman. She's got brown hair, medium height, eyes. Like her
She has
ability to
eyes?
blend. She does have brown hair and brown eyes. Sorry, 2 of them, no less. With only a single set of eyelids, as far as you can tell.
Wow.
But they're, as somebody who is trained to be a spy themselves, Len, like you cannot pick a better person so you'd be able to assume almost any ethnicity. Does that make sense? Across any country with like the right accent and be extremely difficult to remember.
We cannot afford to be sidetracked right now. The snake has to be the priority. So he's gonna go back in, but he's gonna talk about it. He's like, so there was a Avalonian woman listening at the door to all of this, I think, and describe her perfectly. Does anybody know this woman, or should we just keep an eye out for her? Though I think that will be very difficult.
She sounds vaguely familiar, but that is, I mean, there's plenty of. Just trying to think.
There's a look that crosses Wilma's face. She says, I do know somebody like that.
Oh, do you?
She says a long time ago. No, not at all.
A past friend of yours, someone who also worked in City Hall?
Yeah, a contact more. She says there's an organization whose purpose is to assist women that are in danger. I'm a part of it, but for obvious reasons, there's a great deal of secrecy attached to it. There's a woman that a number of times I have been in contact with when helping to make arrangements for somebody to get to safety.
Ah, I see.
But I would have expected her to also notify me if she was in the city. So it might have just been somebody with a similar description.
Well,
I suppose it's
one more thing to keep a lookout for now.
I suppose so. I guess we should be more careful of where we discuss such things.
I thought we had the pretty good cover, but
Next time I should I
And,
need
and
to be
there's
helping us out with discretion more often. Kind of like
speaking of
tilting
speaking of
her
discretion.
neck to her rune.
Speaking of discretion, there is like the gallop of hooves outside as horses kind of come like right up to the party, before realizing it's like a street side party, and Ettore and Anjay kind of slow the horses down. Rosa
has a
has
spear.
Rune is just going to see what's up.
Honoring's hopping off basically like before the horses are even stopped.
Rose is trying to keep her dress as much modesty as she can.
Anjay like slides down first and kind of like offers her hands up, like exactly like a gentleman helping a lady down from a horse. You know what I'm saying?
Poor Ettore doesn't get the chance.
And Anjay's eyes kind of go down and realizes just kind of how much she's taking in over what Rosa probably intended to put on display. And she just kind of, she has a belt that's like a wrap of like linen instead of, and she just kind of pulls it off like a scarf, and drapes it over Rosa. And Rosa had been wearing blue anyway, so it kind of looks, and she like ties it off so that it like folds down, covers cleavage, covers the front of the dress.
Grazie, signore.
She says, "Keep it. It's your color."
I love her.
And Len standing there with the boar spear in hand, just be like, so the party was that good, yes?
I just have to double check. Rosa, is Rosa like blushing that hot in front of Anjay?
No.
Or is she a little more freaked out? Like
She's more like confused.
And I read that Rosa's freaked out because they are like best friends. So I just want to.
They did roll up on horses. Something is not right.
Yeah.
And Gertrude's kind of approaching, and Ettore just kind of turns. He's like, "I'm so sorry, we're late. No, for our haste, Gertrude. I meant to drop by early. Is there somewhere I can park these?"
I love that man so much.
Yes.
Create
all the cover, dude.
Turning to Rosa, and she's like, "Okay, where is she?
Where's who?
Do you see her?" Like, and she's like kind of too focused on Rosa to register Runa's question. She's very like, the adrenaline, she be flowing.
Yeah, and Wilma is coming out of the house, so like kind of behind
Arcana.
Len and everybody else.
Arcana.
Go ahead and make the roll. For those of you who are not Strega, she is wearing a completely different dress.
It's beautiful.
It's 3 keep 3, right? No, 6 keep 3.
Oh.
Yep. Just need
Damn.
15.
$23.
Nice.
Okay. The same arcana that you've seen before. Willful.
Honoring's watching the eyes go black and like looking back and forth and all that.
And yeah, Rose is going to do something that's completely out of character. She's going to run to Wilma and hug her.
Len is looking around very suspiciously right now.
Runa looks to Honoring and just goes, "What happened?"
Yeah, so for those of you who do watch that, like there's like a little bit of stiffness from Wilma at first, like she's just not expecting it, but then a very kind of protective squeeze. Does that make sense? Like there's a definite sort of maternal affection towards Rosa. So.
And yeah, the next part's in straight Vidachi. You need to get out of here. This place is not safe. They're trying to kill you. They're going to hurt you. You need to leave now.
Honoring's like looking around. And
I have a
like,
point of Vidachi. What can I understand?
If you have a point that you are like, unless it's a complex topic, that was not a complex sentence. That was danger, danger, Will Robinson.
Runa just goes, "Honorine, what happened?"
Can we get inside?
Not
Yes.
out here. Everybody, I will stay outside the door. Catch me up later. And Eliza's
Anyone
gonna
that wants to
post.
come in. And then Runa's gonna activate her omen rune.
Somewhere, a rune mage goes, "Ow, my nose!" No. um,
Did you say her omen rune?
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
What does that
give me
mean?
1 second.
yeah.
I can tell y'all.
Has
It's the
Honorine
secrecy bubble from Get Smart.
Has Honorine seen her use her rune magic before?
Hasn't
I
don't
think
know.
so.
I don't
No,
think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't know if Honorine's seen her use her magic.
So what does it look like for a first timer?
Well, this one's on her neck, so it looks a bit, but she kind of just takes her blade and is carving out this rune, but there's no blood or anything. It's actually kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, Sios, it's kind of sparking.
Yeah.
She's
Like,
like
there-
taking the
there's
blade
little
and
li-
just.
And it doesn't look like a cut, it looks more like a brand.
Yeah, she's had the brand on her neck, and it's like she's tracing the lines of it, but she's actually pushing enough that like little sparks kind of go across the blade. And then instead of like holding it there's like an energy that holds to the blade as she carves it into the wood of like the door or the floor or something like that.
My door.
So with a successful check, the Scaregin may speak to others in secret. All those present whom Scaregin wishes to deceive only hear gobbled foreign language, and that would be anyone that is not in our circle or in the room and seem to be trusted by Honorine and Rosa.
Yeah, I think this case is going to be in the room or outside of the room.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not getting my damage deposit back.
Didn't we go
I think
to
you're
Lens?
in Lens. Yeah, you're in Lens. That's why I was
yeah.
like, my door. But he doesn't know yet
Runa
because
can-
he's outside.
I do need you to make the roll. You have to get a 25 on this.
Okay. I might also activate Solitude. I think I'll be okay. Me trying to remember what I'm rolling. Omen mastery level doesn't affect it, correct?
No.
Okay. So it's knack and resolve, keep resolve.
Mhm.
Amazing. 1 sec. Okay.
I have my cards now that I'm inside. I just realized it.
44!
Yeah!
Oh!
Okay.
Nice.
They aren't hearing anything.
Len now has a mystery rune that will last for a year or until Runa like inscribes one somewhere else.
So it's a really safe room for discussion.
This is where we have all of our discussions
I was
now.
just gonna say this is where we all meet. Party
Yeah,
at
this is
Lens'
the-
Well,
place.
you could also do one at the Playhouse instead and
Well,
rescribe.
she'll do another one there.
Yeah. Bear in mind, you can only have a number going at once if it's to your mastery level.
Looks like we're meeting at Lens.
Well, you can cancel one and then do one somewhere else. So,
Yeah, once they're like, it's like the Playhouse. This is just out of convenience. She'll get rid of the one at Lens. But for now,
Yep.
it's on Lens' door.
okay.
Rosa, what happened?
Remember how I went to go and check on Senora Prost? And like as she's like
But she
holding
was
on to
here.
the other one was strange. She didn't know me.
What else?
And I think the senor's name was Redmond.
It was Earhart. Honorine's gonna supply that was Redmond Earhart, slumlord extraordinaire, wealthy guy, kind of ugly.
Yes.
When I found them, they were talking. And it was not sounding like Senora Pros. And when I went to see if it was her, by looking at her arcana, it came back like a how do you say, a bug, an insect. It was never one that I've ever seen, not even close. And she knew from behind the door, she knew I seen it, and then she pulled me through the wall.
There was you found a some kind of creature impersonating.
Ew.
See, make
That was up.
looked like he talked like you, and she points to Wilma Frost.
Woman
They are
looks.
they are planning your death. Redmond is going to kill you.
Why would they do that?
To take control of Freeburg, of the Wactturm.
More
She says
shit.
Redmond's had control over a great deal of Freeburg for many years. Says if he's looking to expand it now, there must be a reason for it.
But you said Arcana. That is the thing you showed us with the cards, right?
See,
It was just something. It looked foreign.
it. I have no way to describe it, but to say it was not like ours. It was completely different. It was a completely different setting, completely different look.
And you're saying she wasn't human?
She pulled me through a wall.
She
I-
also survived.
And
I heard Len speaking of bug people. Runa's gonna open the door and pull Len in. Get in here with Suro's ass. She doesn't actually say that.
she
Wow.
also walked through quite a lot of fire, and her dress burned, but she didn't.
I have a quick question just for are Ettore and Anje here as well? Or were they asked to remain outside?
they were brought in.
Okay. Anje looks like I have 1,000 questions, but she's just kind of keeping them to herself. Ettore is kind of like tracking things and keeping up. Okay, wait, go ahead.
Is Ettore still distracting Gertrude?
Well, it doesn't take him too long to do
Okay.
that.
Then probably, yeah.
He's very charming and she's easily flattered. You know,
Fair.
Yeah.
Checks out.
Fills Lennon very quickly of what happened.
Len's like,
so
oh,
we'll actually assume that they are coming in as Len is being pulled in.
okay,
Yeah.
that'll work. He looks down for a moment. He's like, I mean, did they say anything else that you recall while they were talking about their plans? Obviously, they want the Wactturm, and I think I know why. But I could use anything else you could tell me.
They are taking control of the city. That's all I got.
So,
Why
I
would
guess-
they want Wilma dead? Is that, or Frau Propst dead?
but if they take her place, then they have all of her power and influence, plus all of Redmond's power and influence, which seems like it would be enough to do whatever they want to the Wactturm at that point. And he's gonna look over at Ettore and Anje, and then look at everybody else, and kind of give them the raised eyebrow of, "Do I tell them?"
I believe we have to.
Okay, so this is not something anyone outside of this circle knows, but the Wactturm is more than just a sort of creepy immortal tower. the Wactturm is a key or a nail in the door between realities. Things that used to live in this world, that used to dominate this world, were pushed out by various powers. Mother Winter and the other Soren spirits, others.
Anjay says you're talking about the extinction of the Cerneth.
Yes, they're not extinct. They were moved out of sync with this world, behind a gateway into another pocket world. I cannot say, but all indications given are that if the Wactturm is destroyed or severely disabled, they will be able to come back. And for all our weapons and power and knowledge now, they would sweep us from the planet if they so desired.
If I might inquire your sources on this.
Yes, Matrushka, herself, Mother Winter, and Kolche, plus other readings.
She's like, I don't know the latter name. I know the first one is a subject of folklore of Usura.
She is no there is no folklore involved in Matrushka. She is the source of Parium's abilities. We know her well. We speak to her and her children.
I'm not trying to be insulting, I promise.
No,
I don't mean to.
It's a lot to take in. And he's just going to be like, all right, so he sets the boar spear aside. And let's see, bear is probably going to be a little much. I don't want to try and roll that high because it would look really fucking stupid if it didn't work.
Just go for owl.
Just gonna go a bunch of fur.
So if you're better, she knows what Pyrium is. She's seen it before. Does that make sense?
Okay, so
she's not like in doubt about the existence of it as a sorcery. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. Then he's not gonna necessarily animal right now, but he will say, she has spoken to me before and made the importance of this city and the Wactturm very clear. And I am not the only one, I believe, who has been informed the same by something more than human.
Yes.
I'll reach into my belt pouch and slip on the Panzer handle, hold it up. I'm not sure if either of you are as familiar with the material in our culture, but this Panzer handle is made of Draconite. Many of us have been visited by beings of various levels of divinity or otherwise, in dream and otherwise. This is something that was left to me by an entity that has informed me of the same sort of impending doom.
Anjay kind of like, may I see?
Of course. I'll, stretch out a hand and leave it on, of course.
Yeah, she kind of like, she's like, are they usually so cold?
Typically not.
I would like to point out that Hans has probably never noticed it as being cold.
No, he's never touched it. He's never felt it himself, I'd imagine.
No, he's put on his Panzer hand. I'm saying it does not register to him as cold. So
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh out loud.
Typically not. It is. That's a strange detail.
She kind of like, may I test something?
Of course.
Yeah, and she pulls like her blade from her side. This woman attended court in full dress with 2 pistols up her sleeves and a blade, worn casually on her hip. And she pulls it, and she runs the blade like along the metal, so that if there was like a lacquer or a paint or something like that, it would scrape it, it would cut it, but it doesn't do anything, just as if it was on like raw Draconite or like, forged Draconite. And she looks impressed by that. She's like, I'm no Nibelung, but that's not a dye job.
You have my word on my comrades of the war, fallen and living. This is This is no trick. This is, if anything, potentially a bit of a curse.
I have nothing to show. But what I do know is she explains Scaregin and when they get their visions, but in terms that Runa knows. There was an importance on the tower.
We suspect possibly that the fact that it is the key to a prison, or the nail keeping the door shut, however you want to look at it, is potentially why the tower is so anathema to those of the Avalonian Isles. Can't prove that, but it seems likely.
She's like, you mentioned the Solution Islands.
The Avalonians, yes.
Indeed, there is. We have
Sorry,
another
no.
comment.
Let me ask. Did you? I just didn't hear. Did you say the Avalonian Islands or the Solution Islands?
Avalonian.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Okay.
Whoop.
Along with that, there you were probably not here to hear about the Verschlingen that have set up shop just outside of the city, and one inside of the city in the sewers, who were unleashed there by a ruin skeleton.
Yes.
Which does make me have to ask, Runa, do you know, is there a rune that opposes ruin? Is there like an order rune or a life rune or anything that will give us, we can carve into pointy sticks to help us with the giant murder snakes?
Unfortunately, no.
I was literally
Of course.
just wondering if Honorine knew what a Verschlingen is, but like then he says giant murder snakes, and so she's like in the background, like.
Getting caught up in all the weird shit she's missed.
Yeah.
And Anji kind of like, I understand that there were some members of the Explorer Society that came to a terrible end at the hand of one of these creatures.
One of our friends was with them. He's
Yes.
just not here right now.
Where is Gav?
Where is Gav?
Honorine
he
and Rosa talk at once. Like, where is Gav?
Runa kind of like perks up a bit and asks, "Oh, he went off with Hannelore."
What?
Indeed.
Who? Oh, that's right. Rosa doesn't know who this is. Who is this?
Very cute, mousy little librarian lady that Len apparently met once before. She crushes on him
Majorly.
majorly, so we arranged him to escort her back to the library, just the two of them, to check the records. Because why can't there be at least a little niceness in this shitstorm of magic and fuckery that has become our existence?
What Len said.
I mean,
And then Len just goes and pops the top off a bottle of wine and starts pouring glasses and just handing them around. Just.
I mean,
I almost want to just like smash cut to like Gav and Hannelore like making out like crazy on a table. And Gav just looking completely surprised by what's happening.
With careless whisper.
I'm totally actually picturing
shit
like
too
smash
hard.
cut to them sitting together and Gav being like, and so on the rat, the tail is the most sensitive.
And she's just
Very
like,
ticklish.
Yeah, like it's like a smash cut to like them like making out like crazy on the table, you know, to say it, and then there's like a blink and we realize we've been in Hannelore's imagination the whole time. And she's like, so here's
and Gav is just
where I
talking
think-
and she's just looking at him like this.
So here's where the sewers connect, and I think
Our storyteller has fallen.
Hannelore, do you want to come up to my room
I
and
blame
show
the
me your
cat.
etchings?
I blame the cat for that.
Yes, but so that's where he's. So yeah, Len is just like handing out wine and drinking some of his own, and just so soon, within the next 4 hours or so, we're going to. Those of us who are going into the sewers with whatever manpower we can scrounge to try to kill a giant poisonous snake before it kills a quarter of the city with its toxins in the water. Afterwards, apparently we have to deal with some sort of Starnet spawn.
Anjay looks
Starnet
at the mention of
worshippers?
like the like toxins and stuff like that. She looks to Ettore.
Themselves.
Um, and he just like there's an unspoken like communication of some kind, and then she just sort of like raises an eyebrow and she's like, "They're going to need every advantage they can get." And he kind of like, "I have something that might help."
Oh, good, because Len points at the boar spear. I have that. I am not going to face the snake as a bear because there is more area to bite on a bear.
I have lightning.
We will be in the sewers and water. You will have to be careful with that, please.
I can
just
give
throw it at the thing.
black.
She doesn't actually say that.
Yeah.
Ettore kind of like, I'm going to need a little bit of time. When and where are we meeting?
We're meeting at the
What was
The
it?
Playhouse? The Bear
no,
House
not
Inn?
the first. No, the
Freeburg Gazette?
the Freeburg
Yeah,
Gazette.
Yes.
I
Yes.
promise I haven't even had an edible. My brain just shut off for a moment. But yeah, we'll be meeting at the Freeburg Gazette. Some of the knights will be there. Whatever watchmen can be scrounged, mercenaries possibly, depending. I just and I still have to deal with that whole guy leading hunting parties to hunt the poor of the Foulbergs. After all this.
Anjay like, well, I may very shortly be out of a job, so if you need a
Well,
hand.
Sorry about
have you
that.
done no, actually? Well, A, you saved my friends, so if I can help, I will. And in kind of doing that, Herr Proust, would you not possibly for a time be in need of somebody who can be circumspect but also very dangerous?
Just as if you have lost your position at Brootsman's. And Anjay, like, I don't honestly know. Brootsman is no fan of Redman, but that doesn't mean he's going to stand against him. His entire clientele is nobility, and Redmond is the most affluent noble in the city.
Noble.
But
Honorine
Andre just
does
kind of
say
like
that.
smiles at that. Says, regardless, I can certainly take a sabbatical for a short time.
I would feel much better if there was somebody who could keep a watch over her. This sounds like a far-ranging and rather powerful conspiracy, and
See,
I'm no bodyguard.
She kind of gives a nod. I would certainly have no trouble doing so. I don't believe my pistols would be of much use in the sewer.
Possibly, probably not. I don't know what was going to work. I was honestly banking on there being some sort of anti-ruin rune we could just poke it with until it went away. I'm not saying, I'm not blaming you, Rune, at all. Magic is like that. I'm just kind of like, damn it.
Let me say from experience, pistols are not much use in the sewer.
I'm unsure how useful lightning will be, but we can find that out.
Oh, I can imagine that would be devastating given much of it is in water.
Yes, we will just have to not be in the water too when that happens.
Ettore is making his way towards the door, by the way, Honorine, if she's going to be taking any action.
Before he leaves, she kind of catches his hand, and like stops him from leaving, and she's like, "Thank you so much for your help tonight," and like gives him, like, goes in for the cheek kiss, and then like halfway through is like, "Fuck it," and like gives him like a peck on the lips.
Yeah. The definitely, deepens as much as she'll allow.
Yep.
Well, not very much because it's yeah. Anyway, not very much, but yeah, he gets a kiss.
Yeah, and he after he pulls away, and he can kind of see the blush on her cheeks. He kisses her hand. He says, "I did have a riveting evening."
I've had the most interesting night.
So Audrine turns back to them and she's like, "You also have some fire."
Nice. Well, good. And then it looks like Len just something occurs to like he's replaying the conversation, everything up to that point, and he's like, "Oh shit, you were pulled through a wall, Rosa. Are you okay?" And he's gonna like turn her and just check on
So
her.
we-
Just like there's a whole lot of stuff happens.
We've gotten the like world ending stuff out of the way, and now it's like,
Wait.
oh right.
How hurt
So-
are you? Do you need help?
So Rosa, like, as this is happening, she's gonna take off the shawl now. That
Did Rosa get any runes? No.
I don't know how I got
wounds?
No, I don't think so.
There are bruises on her neck, and her dress is like torn down to navel.
No
Oh, yeah,
dramatic
she-
wounds?
No.
Okay.
She almost has a red butterfly.
Ouch.
Ooh. He's gonna like if she'll let him tilt her head up a little bit with some fingertips and check and be like, okay, that's not terrible. We should probably get you some more clothes. I can loan you a shirt if you'd like to put something over that for now.
For assumption's sake, let's assume that there were flesh wounds, but that they've effectively been treated or will be.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we'll get them bandaged up and then in one of Len's oversized shirts for now.
Yeah, Rosa will wear one of Len's oversized shirts.
I don't know what the red butterfly reference is, by the way. If that's
The shape it makes.
The shape it makes when you're choked.
okay.
Ah.
Oh, she only used one hand, so it's like a half butterfly.
It's turkey.
He's gonna yes, the strangled turkey. We've all seen it. Then so he's gonna look at Honorine. Were you injured at all, or did you just set things on fire?
Set things on fire.
I was not injured at all.
Okay, good.
I should note that the Inquisitor, what is his? He's the Archbishop, Siosa?
Yep. Archbishop Rosencruz.
I should perhaps point out that the Archbishop Rosencruz was present at our festivities.
Well, the Archbishop better keep his nose out of it then, or he's going to find out how well he swims with rocks tied to his ankles.
He is he is also a head inquisitor.
Yes.
I recognized him.
Is he the one that I cat sprayed? Or was that one of his
Yes.
flunkies? Oh, okay, yeah.
That's him.
I
Um,
forgot
Still
about
Well, it's
that.
gonna be like, oh yeah, I peed on him.
Wilma kind of crosses her arms. She says, "There is a matter of some concern in that." She says, "Do you know who Kelby Loring is?"
See, we met him tonight, see?
Do you know who he is in the larger spectrum of things?
Did we meet him?
The
I think we
Loren
met him.
was at that.
Yeah, that's like you know him as like the inventor of the Loring
Yeah,
school.
inventor of the like beat the fuck out of you with two panzer hands fighting style.
Yeah, and he also is the head of the largest mercenary organization in Freiburg.
Uh-oh.
Redmond says, or Wilma says, I understand that a deal was signed between Loring and Redmond earlier, as he's moved his headquarters out of Feinherth and is moving it into the Steindeweisen,
There's no surprise.
which puts the largest private military in the city in his hands.
Coward. They're afraid of Gav.
It's going
They
to
don't even
be,
know it's gonna hit them with Gav.
About 450 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, that is worrying, but that is not something I hope will impact dealing with the snake unless they're suddenly feeling quite charitable when it
No,
comes to...
if there are mercenaries that are in the hire of Redmond Earhart and we just completely embarrassed him in front of most of polite society, let me tell you, men that are scorned like that are not something to put aside.
We can hope he burned in the fire.
He did not.
Unfortunately.
Nobody burned in the fire. And
Runa
she
like
honestly
going
looks-
from a completely like opportunist, like this could be good for us if he burnt in the fire. Just goes, unfortunate.
And Honorine honestly looks very sad about it as well.
She says most of the members of the Wakund are also users of two bands or hands. Like
Yeah.
Loring himself is. She says, I found Loring to be a decent man on some matters, but he is ultimately a mercenary and ultimately responsible for those men under him.
Are there any other mercenary companies that could be temporarily hired and consolidated in another portion of the city?
She says, if we hired every other mercenary company that was in the city, it would match the numbers of the Wakund.
I do not know the cost of that. I only bring it up because it is often the case that a city-state is not with a neighbor who is of equal military might is unwilling often to make an overt move against any other neighbors in the area for fear of being moved on. It's the best thing. I'm not a great strategist. I stab things and I hunt, and apparently I model.
She says, I've consulted with Loring about strategy on a few matters because his advice is always pragmatic. He has some 15,000 men under his command. She says the rest of the mercenary companies together in the city could potentially actually put together close to 35. Some of them are exorbitant. Some of them are not worth a guilder.
The father is father. I hate to say it that way, but having grown up in a rather nasty war,
some
but
simply
that
wouldn't
is-
be useful because their artillery regiments are similar.
well, but I am not saying that this is not a big problem for us, but the biggest problem right now to save the most lives is to focus on the snake and killing
Agreed.
the snake.
Is there anyone else we should reach out to if we have such a short time?
Don't believe anyone else comes to mind. I mean, I have to do scouting on mercenaries in general.
The only other thing I
What's
could
work?
think is if we could have somebody, some engineers or something, block off at least temporarily, the sewer access that the snake came in on first, and maybe one or two others. If they stick to the walls in the Faulberg, they should be fine. But we want to make sure the Verschlingen that's outside the city does not come back in, or does not decide to join its brother, sister, whatever. And B, that if the Verschlingen we are going to be hunting decides to try and flee, generally it will flee along a path that it knows, and finding itself suddenly blocked off may give us an advantage. Or may just piss it off and send it into a berserker fury. We're rolling the dice on everything we're doing with this thing.
She says I can certainly contact some builders. I don't know if they'll be able to do it in the next 4 hours. I will also go and reach out to thinking. I'll also go reach out to Vasya and see if there are any guardsmen that can be loaned to the purpose. I know fine art is a little lacking in them at the moment.
On that topic, I should have first say my appreciations to Gertrude for her invite, but I should be off to get to work on a few things.
What are we going to tell Gertrude? She's the host, right? Hostess?
I mean, I'm going
well,
to.
Well, kind of like I'll say something to her that there's an emergency and I'm asking you away.
That it also works.
And so I'm kind of assuming everybody's like splitting up, taking some time.
Before everyone splits up, Runa just like in passing is going to introduce herself to Anja. Be like, I'm Runa, by the way. Lovely meeting you.
Oh right,
Um,
Professor. These are my friends. This is Runa. She is a delight and a pleasure to have around.
Yeah, and aren't you kind of like an Eskergen by the looks of the
Very
rune work?
talented.
Correct.
She smiles and she says, "I've been to Kirk twice. She's escaped from jail there only once. But
I miss you.
my friend Ittori is delightful company and very interesting, but he is trouble."
And Honoring has kind of a little bit of a like sly smile as she's like, yeah, he is. Like he's the best kind of trouble.
She says, I believe I've obligated myself to protecting Wilma, and it looks like we're about to get on.
Yes. Thank you very much for doing so.
A delight to meet everyone. If I am no longer working at Brooksman's and you are interested in a private swordsmanship tutor or scholarship,
If your employment is on the line, you are always welcome to come by, I suppose, my captain's house in the Final Herd if you're looking for any kind of employment. If it is not your taste, and of course I understand it is,
she says,
it's a high
honestly,
demand.
teaching the children of nobles is not as rewarding as one might think it is. Fiscally, yes. Emotionally draining.
Yeah.
Says it would be nice to put some guardsmen through their paces. He says, instead of just running gymnastics for spoiled nobles.
Honoring, having been one of those nobles, is just like.
We will certainly be in need of some training for the new recruits. That would be happy to employ you for as long as you may need.
She says we can discuss some arrangements later.
Of course.
Seems there's some other matters before us. But she'll take off. Wilma does, make apologies to Gertrude. Everybody's gonna have to be going, but they embrace. Gertrude is like, when she's like, "Oh, you have to leave her," like she's making snack bags for everyone.
Oh,
I love her. That party was so much better than ours.
No one made you guys snack bags.
Yeah.
No, they tried to kill us instead.
No, they were just the snacks.
I counted 3 snacks at that party.
Yeah.
All right. So, Gav, in the Hall of Records, I would like you to make 2 rolls. One of them is just going to be a because Gav, I know, is not actively trying to charm Hannelore. I think it's kind of like in general his like demeanor and his intimidation and all, like it all just like works inversely on her. So what I want you to do is actually make an intimidation roll.
Okay. All right. So that's criminal?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can use brawn or resolve for it.
All right. So that's 2. I get an extra 1 for being large. And then 4. So 7, keep 3. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, let me do some math here. So that's a 44.
Okay. Um, The second roll I'm going to have is actually going to be Hanalor's roll. I'm going to have you roll it, but it's going to be her wits, which is a 4, plus her scholar skill, which is also a 4, which is going to be just finding out information about the sewers. Gav's help is providing a +5, despite the distracting nature of his presence. She's like using him as like a mobile shopping cart, like hold this and hold this and hold this, hold this,
That's
hold this.
totally something Gav would do. Okay, and then that's a 10. 30, no, yeah, 36.
Okay, so
No,
it's
41
like
because of the +5.
Okay, so there's later on there is going to be a navigation roll. That roll that you have right now is going to give you 4 free races that you can use at that time. It's like a whole process wherein she goes like she figures out the dates on like almost 15 different maps of the sewers. Does that make sense? And then like sets them down and makes sure that they connect with the oldest being on top. Like she just kind of continues to layer them, you know what I'm saying, until she knows she has the most recent entries in the right places. And is like on hands and knees crawling around the table, like aligning everything, you know what I'm saying, kind of making sure it's perfect. And there is one thing that Gav is going to pick out, which is that there's a fairly large section of the sewers that's actually under the merchant's quarter, which extends into Fine Hearth. Does that make sense? Like they've actually been working on improving and expanding theirs. Well, whereas Finer Hearts is more like has the problem of being old enough that's like falling apart now. And is dealing with a much larger population than it was designed for. All of it has undergone numerous expansions, but those expansions have been on like an emergency basis. Does that make sense? Like we reach population cap, we'll do just enough to get it to like the point that it's running again. Oh, we reach population cap. It's expanded just enough that it's running again.
It
because there's
rained
just
really
not
heavy
the money
this year.
for it. Yeah. But there are sections of the sewer system that are in the like the merchant's quarter that appear to have undergone construction to remove them from connection to everything else.
Connection has been severed from main sewer, or sorry, from merchant's quarter to the main. From basically, they're isolating the grid. So
there's a part of it that has been, yes. Now you know about Runa having been like underneath, both for like the like slave system, and underneath in a different area when she went down into Max Smithy, right? So both of those areas fall into the like cordoned off part that are not connected to the rest of the sewer system.
Gav sort of makes a comment to that. And also during this whole thing, I think as part of helping, he's like marking off areas he knows from his working with the rat catchers. You know, this tunnel is collapsed, is, stuff like that.
Yep. And she's, like making little notes, and like there's at one point where she kind of like crawls over to a part and is like making a note on it. It does not want to stay today. And she like looks up and she realizes she's just like inches from Gav. And like while she's on the table, she's actually like high enough that she could like kiss Gav. And you've never seen somebody sort of like fighting through their own terror in the same way as she does in that moment, you know what I'm saying? Before planting like the fastest little peck on Gav's mouth that like fast enough that Gav like might have imagined it.
Yeah, long, slow blink from Gav. Why would you do such a thing?
She's like, your you're always very nice to me. She's like, and you're I know you're really nice to children, and um, I like you.
That's impossible. Pretty people like you do not look at people like me.
Blush like deepens in shade. um, and she uh she's like, can I show you something? I know time's of the essence.
He sort of shrugs.
Yeah, she kind of she like slides off of the table and she puts both of her hands on his non-centered hand and just kind of like pulls him towards where like you realize like she has like a room like that is an office in the Hall of Records that she has turned into a home. Like you just you see this like little like cook pot and you like everything she might need like a bed and whatnot.
So you do live here.
She's like, I'm not supposed to. She says, but I stay late a lot of times and it's scary to come alone. And
Your little mouse hole. And he says that with a bit of a smile.
She's like, you said that I don't look at you and see you, but and she like picks up like a stack of books. She's like, I think of you.
But
She's like, these are books I think you should read. And I set them aside because I want to tell you that you should read them and give them to you. And
it's at this point that Gav kind of like, the word I'm using is shrinks away, but considering it's Gav and Honolor, that's kind of a misnomer.
It's a shrinks away like he's taking a step back, like getting away from her.
He's taking a step back and he's kind of like folding in on himself a little bit. Like there's shame.
She's like,
I don't know how to read.
Oh.
And he says that.
And did you see this? Like, there was like a moment of hurt where you thought where she seemed to think that Gav was like retreating from her. Does that make sense? And she just like, oh, and then like, oh, and she's like, I would read them to you.
Okay. It's just the look on Gav's face is kind of confusion. Well, yeah, a lot of confusion. But he is blushing. And he sits down and he's very careful when he sits. Like,
yeah,
just kind of like, you know how a big dog sits down, they kind of like make a very careful survey of their surroundings, make sure nothing's going to fall over. And he just kind of hunkers down.
She kind of she looks thoughtful for a moment, and she kind of like sets one of the books like in the center of her desk. She says, the next time you come by, we can start there.
I would like that.
And she kind of she lifts like one foot and you can see she's just like tapping her toes on the ground under her, like kind of balancing on the other, like almost like a little like flamingo thing, like, and then she like shifts to the other one, like just like awkwardly, like doesn't know where to go from here, doesn't know like what to say, you know what I'm saying? And then she just kind of like leans forward, she puts both of her hands on his like collarbones and she gives him a longer kiss. And she says, I know what you're about to do is dangerous. You need to come back from it.
This Verschlingen will not know what hit him. I will make sure of it. And then
like,
you will read to me. And I will like that.
Yeah, and she kind of like, she starts to like mist up. She's like, I should go work on the map.
And he kind of shifts a little so she
You
can
see her,
move
she like
past.
waves at her eyes a little bit. It goes by.
Yeah.
And then immediately shoots a look over her shoulder. There's no game. Like she has none at all.
Yeah, Gav just sort of faithfully follows. You know.
The first person to sort of like interrupt everything with a knock on like the Hall of Records is Ettore. And
Stay where you
Hannelore
are.
just
I will-
jumps,
Yeah,
at
it's
the
like-
sound of the knock, but because it's
Stay
super
where
late.
you are. Yeah. Gav's like,
Mhm.
stay where you are. I will be back soon. I will get the door.
Yeah.
And sorry, am I really quiet? I realize Gav is
No,
talking really
I
quiet.
can hear you great.
So yeah, he he makes sure she's okay and then heads to the door, opens it. Signor Mondavi.
He says, Gav, he says, thought I should let you know that I'm in on the plan now. We're hunting snakes tonight, I guess.
It is going to be very, very long night. I suggest you bring clothes you do not like.
I, I don't think I own any of those. But
And clothes you would not be sad about if you had to get rid of them.
I'll convince someone to donate something to me.
It's a good
Says,
idea.
but in the meantime, he says, I need to find an alchemist quickly. He says, I wanted to let you know in about an hour and a half now, everyone is meeting at the Freiburg Gazette. He says that should be the entry point to the sewers.
We use that entrance many times.
I just know that that's the way that was agreed upon. It says that everyone will be meeting there.
Da. We've learned many things about the sewers in this city. Things that I did not even know.
Says that will be useful then. I have a time limit. He says if I'm to be of any use, he says beyond this, an extra meal to be snacked upon by this thing. I should get going.
I will see you at the Gazette.
He nods.
If this man is not trustworthy, I am going to absolutely lose my shit on you, Siosa. Just FYI.
Rosa sees his hubris.
He's not an
All right.
alien. We're good.
I was mentioning that because this hubris is actually loyal. All right, so time passes, everybody's kind of busy. And then at the time of who's just sort of like heading there and getting there early, who's working on something to the last minute.
Gav is spending as much time as he can with Hannelore before he leaves. But before they go to the Gazette, he goes back to the rat catchers and gets his sewer monster gear, which includes plague masks, something a little bit stronger than his hands, hip waders, just the kind of stuff someone who is used to going into the sewers would be carrying with them.
The rat catchers actually have some extras of that stuff since they do occasionally hire people temporarily. So if he wants to pick up some extra, but before he does, there is one more thing with Hannelore. When it's like getting near that time, she kind of like runs back to her office and she comes back. She has like a little like kerchief in her hands, right? That looks like it's been washed and rewashed many times. She's like, this is my very best ink blotter for when I make a mistake and I need to soak up the ink before the parchment takes it. She says in the old days, ladies used to give favors to their knights to bring them luck in battle.
Oh my god.
Kind of like,
oh shit.
Gav can't die.
she folds it and she puts it inside of his coat.
I'm not
Really
gonna
like this
let
coat, by the
Gav
way.
die, guys. It's okay. Oh.
She folds it and puts it inside Sir Gav with the letters.
I will.
Gav just changes his name in Zoom.
I will be sure to return this to you.
Says, good, it's my favorite.
He before they go, he leans down and he cups her face in his massive hand, and he gives her a quick kiss, and he's like, "I will return."
She just kind of nods. She doesn't say anything. It looks like her mouth isn't quite working. She just kind of like fans herself and
And then he heads.
yeah. All right. So any last preparations anybody else is making?
Runa, after seeing if she can be useful helping anyone else, will go back to her home, change out of her dress because that feels not ideal for the sewers. And she is also going to explain to Sora what's happening and kind of just tell Brandy that Auntie's not going to be home tonight. I'll see you later, you wonderful child. Like,
and Brandy's like, I'll see you in the morning.
Runa
Mom said I've been staying up too late anyway.
Runa is like doing her best to not make this sound like a goodbye.
Yep. And Zora is like, I thought I lost all my family, and now I have some. I can't stand to lose anymore.
I will come back.
She just very fiercely embraces her.
Runa's gonna hug her so tight.
So now, is there any other kind of like last minute before we goes?
Is there?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna ask if there is there a roll I can make to just like scrounge up a couple extra people last minute?
Yeah, Commander.
All right. That is. God damn it! What is that? Is that resolve and
I'll do resolve on this.
strategist?
I'll allow resolve and strategist on this.
What was it? What is it actually? I've forgotten.
So I allow resolve as a social rule when it's like clearly like a matter of willpower. Does that make sense?
Okay.
And so it would not like if it was just pure persuasion, it'd be wits. Does that make sense? But this is like I'm going into a fucking deadly situation, but it's to potentially save lives, and
This is like,
if you make it through, you're on my short list for guards.
Yeah. You're
fine.
If you do a good job, you're basically hired. This is your training. This is your job interview. Okay.
We'll figure the rest out.
Yeah. We'll kind of like go over the rest later. So that is okay. That's actually like half decent. $23.
Okay. So for the purposes of this, you are going to have two people that are effectively henchmen that are available. Does that make sense? Because I could have you show up with some Brute Squad guys, but like they will die in the first round.
Yeah.
Automatically with no roll, and like that just feels mean. So.
And
go ahead.
Is that Hans's? Are you good?
Yeah, that's.
I just didn't want to step on your toes.
Oh yeah, no, he's all business right now. We need more people.
Corporal Expendable and Meat Shield. So Honorine is first of all going to like kind of go with Rose. I assume Rose is changing because her dress is a skirt.
Yeah. Rosa definitely wants to change, but at the same time she's very afraid to go back to either Rosa's or her own or Honorine's house because they do know their names.
Well, so she's gonna suggest that they stop by the playhouse and find like she's like, oh, what should we even wear in the sewers? Like, what if we find like the the most broken down, like costumes that are about to be discarded. And I realize that this has the possibility for some hilarity.
Zoom chat just got me.
Sorry.
So she's gonna suggest that they go find like some costumes, and I'm sure it's gonna be like the Cowardly Lion and like some random jester costume or some shit like that, so they can hear them
Knowing
coming
our
by the
luck.
bells or something. Like you hear the tinkle tinkle of bells in the sewer, and you know that Rose is coming.
Here is what I need from both of you. I need stealth rolls from both of you as you're
How
making
is
your way
that
through
done?
Flucifer. In this case, it's going to be more of a mental stealth, so I will allow wits or finesse. Finesse if you're just like, creep, finesse, but the wits is the,
Does criminal help?
yes.
Okay.
I want to use panache.
36.
That is the opposite of how you sneak.
Don't
Okay.
look at me.
Because Rosa was gonna actually talk to Len.
Commoner, right?
Oh.
Finesse or wits and commoner, or no?
And anybody going into Flucifer, well, with the hunted background right now, needs to make a stealth roll.
But like, can I use commoner?
Yeah, I'll allow it.
Okay.
Yeah, I imagine Len would actually, if they're not too far away, Len would go with them because he doesn't have anything else to do. He's got his boar spear.
So it's
Because
20
they're not actively looking for you, I'm not going to require a stealth roll from you.
Okay.
So it's 29. I don't know if I want to use a drama die or not. Do I have to declare this before?
Yes.
No. Well, never mind then.
So, you can spend a drama die to do a reroll, though. So, you guys make it through the riverfront, but as you're going through, you hear the sounds of like a crowd gathering. Does that make sense? In the market plots where Rosa's home is, the Inquisition is gathering around the pyre that they've created. And you can see that there are people that are like protesting, shouting, get out of here and stuff like that. But the Inquisitors are being backed up by the Wactturm, the mercenary organization. And they are dragging Wilhelm Kurtz onto it. And you can see Rosencreuz in front of the crowd addressing it and charging him with consortation with witchcraft.
What do we do?
And it's going to take a look and there is nothing we can do. They outnumber us. How many Inquisition and mercenaries do we see?
Because there's an entire angry crowd there.
Oh.
There's probably some 40 mercenaries, and backed up by Inquisitors. Rosencreuz himself is there doing the one, shouting down the crowd. Does that make sense? You can see that Father, his name.
Father Ciosa.
Capus?
No,
yeah,
not
Father
Ciosa.
Ciosa, where
that's
are you?
Cardinal Ciosa.
Padre Ciosa, help! They're putting an innocent man to death.
Too bad our weather witch likes lightning and not rain.
That's cold.
Father Wessels is the one that was like the preacher that's kind of always gotten along with the Inquisition. It was the original preacher for the cathedral. Rosencreuz is in the middle of exhorting the crowd, reading the charges. There are some people who are pro anti-witchcraft. Does that make sense? That are definitely in agreement, and there are others this man is a musician. It's done nothing wrong. It is clearly a very charged execution. Does that make sense? Whereas sometimes there are people that are yeah, everybody's okay with. Wilhelm he's not beloved in the personal sense, but as a musician, he is considered an incredibly important part of the community. Does that make sense? Um, what are you guys doing?
There is nothing that can be done. We do not have the unless Anarine can start a fire somewhere very inconvenient for them.
Does Len know she can start fires?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he caught
Okay.
it when she first. And I'm so mad right now. I'm so mad right now. Honorine
This
is
is-
so angry right now.
Rose is just upset because it's her fault.
I wish there were descriptions of the knacks like in my character sheet because this is really annoying me.
I'm
but
sorry.
whatever-
I will add them between the next game.
It's okay. You don't need to. I'm just.
Oh, Rosa, why do you have bad ideas? It's
You gonna
swords,
start
right?
a riot?
Yes.
I was just gonna say, like, she's like, there are people that we can stir up. I can start a fire. You get the crowd going. Like, she's like, when Len's like, there's nothing we can do, Henri is like, the fuck we can't. Like, she doesn't say exactly those words, but she's like, this man is innocent. He has nothing to do with it, and it's our fault he's there.
Let
Len's-
me. Can I just start?
Riot, 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 riot.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna riot. Is there a way that I can set the swords on? I can start playing the fate lines again to start the crowd swords on fire effectively to make them more aggressive.
So Honorine is first going to take Rosa by the shoulders and be like, listen to me. I'm from Montaigne, and I know how angry people behave. Okay? Once you start a crowd boiling over, they don't stop. Okay? So understand that if we do this, that if we stir them up, there will be consequences, but it will probably save his life.
So when it interjects, because there is still things happening, like as the charges are being read, and you see like moving through the crowds, there are other inquisitors arriving with other people that have bags over their heads. This is not a singular execution that's happening.
Do it. And Len's going to kind of hide his boar
Len's
spear
like,
in
"Fire
an
it up."
alley, grab a rock, hold it behind his back, and kind of wander towards things, waiting for stuff to kick off.
Okay. There are definitely things that are like in the process of kicking off. Rosa is, as you're kind of like focusing on your swords and stuff like that, you suddenly see a huge sword strand appear between Rosencruz and one particular person in the crowd.
Okay, so it's
Actually, oh wait, no, I'm sorry. There are two sword strands that he has that are considerable and personal. Does that make sense?
yeah, okay.
I will
I'm-
give you finesse or I will give you wits and like keen senses rolls to deduce who they are from the distance. Does that make sense?
Okay, so I only have 3, keep 3.
You can use a drama die.
20.
Do 2 rolls.
$18.
Okay. The first one, you're able to deduce, and you deduce that it is actually Cardinal Siosi. He's in the crowd. He's hooded at the moment, but he is here.
Yeah, no.
Like he's not letting this kind of thing happen without resistance. You see that there are
I can't mess with his
several
swords.
of the Tobias monks that are here as well. Does that make sense?
Okay.
The other one you can clearly see. You can attach it to a figure, but like who that person is means nothing to you. But
Perfect.
it does mean that you kind of like you're actually watching them because they have this unusual relationship. They've got like a bit of a hood on, and you see they kind of like dip their head down. Their features are Castilian, and you watch them like produce something in their hand, and then they put a mask over their face. The only person in the crowd who probably recognizes that, who has heard of that mask or seen it, is Honorine, because it is the mask of El Vago, which is like a freedom fighter in Castile who has been wrecking the Inquisition shit all over the country.
The mask of El what?
El Vago,
El Vagro.
VAGO.
Okay.
Len is just waiting with his rock.
Yep, it's the
Yep.
second one.
So Honorine, can I use fire starting for this? Because I read the description and I'm not sure that I can actually, or they're carrying torches, right?
Yeah, like they've got lighting. There's plenty of lighting around it that you can turn into fire.
So what would you like me to roll to direct the fire to their robes? I have concentrate 2, so I think I can do that to 2 people.
Yeah, I will let you use concentrate as an attack roll, with your. There's not very good specific rules about this.
There's really not. I am very dissatisfied with the amount of rules that they have laid out for me. The instructions, 3 stars.
Instructions are not clear.
3 stars.
I think
Instructions
a lot of those.
unclear.
Instructions unclear. Set the pyre on fire.
Are you still first level or second level? Your mastery.
I don't know. How do I find that?
Do you have all 3 at NAC? Do you have 5 NACs at 3?
1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4. I have 5 at 2.
No.
So does that mean I'm in the middle for mastery? There are no mastery dots.
You have 1 dot of mastery.
Okay.
So you are going to roll your fire starting. So yeah, we're going to do this as a fire starting roll.
I'm very excited that I get to start some fire. Like, actually.
Okay. I'm ready with the Arcana roll.
So fire.
What are you doing for the Arcana?
I am using swords, and I am causing the swords between. I completely missed the name. I'm sorry, Guy Fawkes and
Vago.
Evil Vago and Evil Inquisition dude.
Okay. I put the name in chat.
So I'm rolling resolve and fire starting.
Yes.
Keeping resolve.
Both you go ahead and do your rolls at once. Yeah. And Len, you can do, if you're throwing a rock or whatever when things pop up, just go ahead and give me the roll for that now.
Len is absolutely trying to also bean the head Inquisition dude while yelling in very unaccented Eisen, because he can do that. He just normally doesn't. Murderer! They're coming for your wives and children! And then he's going to yeet his big old rock, which would be, I guess, finesse and marksman.
Yep.
All right, and I'm going to use a drama die in here. So.
Same, I'm using a drama die as well.
Oh shit, I should probably use a drama die.
So it's...
Is that unkept or kept?
Kept.
Oh, okay. So it's keep 4.
Motherfucker.
29.
Okay.
27.
So Henri is getting 2 of the Inquisitors on fire. Len is definitely going to bean the head Inquisitor. I will let you go ahead and go to strength roll. It's only a 1k1, but
Oh, I'm 23.
for the rock.
Okay, so it's... So strength doesn't factor into it? It's just 1k1, or is it?
No, it's strength plus 1k1, but you only keep 1.
Oh, okay, so.
Slightly better than punch and face.
And Sans is just 1 short of being able to twist it up 2 levels, I believe, or 3 levels, so it goes up 2 levels. You're just trying to make them like more aggressive to each other, right?
Yeah.
12, I'm sure I didn't do actual jack to him, but I hit him. That's the important thing.
Okay. What did you do for damage?
12.
I just remember I have to roll 2 d10s.
Oh, for your curse die.
Hey, you did a dramatic wound.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Crack.
Right
And
in the
Shit.
kisser.
Then duck into the crowd and start rabble rousing in different accents and voices.
Yeah, it's like so the chaos just sort of like breaks out from there. Like the moment that rock hit, like lots of stuff springs into action. Like fire creeps up some of the Inquisitor's robes, and you see that there's like some of the crowd kind of like takes the opportunity to like push against the Wakund. You see one of them just sort of like full Panzerhand smashes somebody in the face, but it's like it's an already tense crowd. It's just sort of like adding fury to it, and you hear that you see like Siosa like throw his hood back and he's like, "You have no authority here," and he is built to exhort crowds. Like
Yep.
the man is not like, he has both the reputation behind it, you know what I'm saying, and the know, you know what I'm saying, and he is here with the Inquisitor doing the thing that they hate about the Inquisition. Does that make sense? The thing that they've not yet allowed to happen in Freiburg, and booming about like that the church has granted them no authority. The Inquisition has no right. They are simply a gang of murderers and should be treated as such. And in the middle of that, you see, like some of the crowd kind of like the two Inquisitors that are to the side that have like other people with bags of their heads. They kind of like put their arms around and put knives to their throat. One of you sees, I'll let you decide kind of who sees it, but Alejandra, the girl who works at the Playhouse, you see her put a knife into that one's spine and like twist, and like the Inquisitor drops and she just kind of like steps back into the crowd, as the person sort of like staggers, and you see Tav pull the bag off his head. And he kind of like turns, and like the other Inquisitor who has like a knife up to somebody's neck, you see Tav just kind of like grabs him by the head and like full punches him in the face, and the Inquisitor goes limp, and Tav hits him again and again. And you're like, you have always seen Tav like the charming kind of big dumb, you know what I'm saying, like he has a temper. It just takes a while to get up. Does that make sense? And you see the other man kind of like scramble back. You see like Waldo yanks the bag off.
Oh my god.
What?
So Honorine is first like kind of nudging Rosa, like, isn't that your neighbor? And then she's like, oh my god, it's my landlord.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's absolute proof that like you guys are the ones being targeted in this. They don't know where you are, they can't get you directly, but they are coming at you. And if they can't hunt you down, they're going to take another route. However, like the Tobias monks that are kind of like surrounding Siosa, you see like 3 of the Inquisitors heading for them. You know what I'm saying? And like draw blades, and you see one of the Tobias monks, he just kind of like stands in front of Siosa, and he says, "I warn you, brother, I've taken an oath to defend this man." And the Inquisitor like just like draws the blade. He looks like about ready to like run him through, and he just sort of like sidesteps, and the monk that's behind him that is leveling a rifle full shoots him in the chest. And you see, like they're just like drawing small swords and pistols, and like they're kind of staying around Cios to protect him. They're aware that like the Inquisition very much wants him dead, and that's when you see the man wearing the mask like steps onto the stage where Rosencruz is,
Who is probably bleeding and woozy still.
Yeah, bleeding, woozy, and you see the man with the Alvago mask. He just sort of like salutes him with a blade and then kicks him in the chest, like into the pyre that is not yet burning, but is like arranged to do so. Does that make sense?
Can I set it on fire?
I will let you
The
make
guy
a
is still there. Is he knee
Yep.
tied to it yet, or were they still?
So they were holding him
he,
reading
he was
the-
like, yeah, they were reading the charges, so he was like next to it.
Yep.
He's not yet tied to it. And Elvago just kind of like cuts his bonds, pushes him off stage, and is like retreating into the crowd.
Way to go,
Oh.
Zorro.
Len's going to take his hip flask, open it, and just yeet it right into the fire too. It doesn't know if it's necessary, and if there's a fallen torch, we're gonna try and give Honorine the best chance she's got.
I was just
To
gonna
just
say, like, can I
fireball.
light can I light the flask on fire as it goes toward them?
I will let you make another fire starter roll against him. You now have to hit his target number 20 because his defense knacks are in effect. Before he's caught by surprise, so it's only a target number 5 to hit him. And after that, you guys are gonna have to get out of here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Len is just like, I'm helping as best I can. He's gonna yeet and then go.
Grab your spear first.
Yeet and run. Okay, resolve. Hey, hello. 24.
Woo!
Literally, boom.
We're gonna burn the other half of his face.
Yep.
Damn straight.
Hey, look, now you match.
Roll me 2k damage, 2k2 damage.
All right. $11.
He makes it exactly, so he does soak it. So he's not taking a second dramatic wound. He is on fire, but you guys have to flee at this point.
Yep. Len's just gonna spin around and just yell, "They don't have as many men as we have cobblestones," and then flee.
Let's go. She's gonna
And
grab
a
Rose's
spear and
hand.
hustle everybody.
Yeah.
And the thing that the Wactturm and the Inquisition is quickly finding is that many, many people in a crowd in Eisen know how to use a weapon, and well.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, like at one point as you're like walking out, you see like what looks like some 60-year-old guy just absolutely like wailing on somebody with a spear.
Nice.
Somebody else is like got like a rusted, like not Drakenisen Panzer hand, but just like one that like clearly has survived the 30 Years War and is like systematically like breaking joints. All right. Everybody, you know, you guys managed to like get clothing and stuff like that. You guys are kind of coming into the playhouse like right as Alejandra is. She's dirty, bloody, clearly also looking for a change of clothes.
Are you all right?
It's
a heck
and
of
she
a
just
night
looks
out
a little
there.
like she says, "Deal with it."
It's a heck of a night out there.
Every time I'm like gesturing and I touch my desk, it's been knocking it off the
She
camera.
goes,
So.
just passes out.
Yep.
She says,
I'm fine.
I have seen their cancer eat its way through my country. I cannot let it eat through another.
Amen, sister.
Grazie.
Yep.
That's not what Honorine says. I don't know what Honorine says, but it's along the same lines.
Yeah. And Len's just like, I'm going to savor the moment of that rock clocking him in the face. Sorry. He actually entirely without his accent for a moment. He's like, I'm going to savor that moment with the rock for the rest of my days.
She says, those who were rescued, they're being taken to a safe place by those who are friends of Elvago. She says, if you need to speak to them, I can put you in touch.
We will definitely need to speak to them at a future
See.
date, but for now we have other dangers to brace.
Costume
But-
change.
Yeah, very rapid costume changes. Alejandro doing the same, and then everybody kind of running in different directions.
Yeah.
So now we come to the Freeburg Gazette. Like there's chaos happening all through Lucifer at this point. Like as you guys are like leaving, like the riots are kind of like spreading through the city.
Someone's
What
having
would
a
have
good time.
what would have been a hammer that might well have brought an entire district under Redmond's control has become something else entirely. And the group kind of arrives. There's Dietrich Proust, who is showing up with two other Knights of the Rosencross that are with him. Yeah, casual pause for a riot. Hans is there with the two men that he's recruited. Gav's is probably there first. Ettore arrives a little bit late and a little bit pale. If you didn't know better, you would think that he had like been injured or something. Does that make sense? He says, "I have something that might assist."
Oh,
I can't.
okay?
I can't make any promises. Yeah, he reveals like a vial that is like glowing green from within. He says, "This is a very, very dangerous poison." He says, "I caught a bit of a whiff of it as I was brewing it."
Oh,
Oh,
are you all right?
I'll be fine. My mother poisoned me with it several times when I was a child, so I have something of an immunity, but no one becomes completely immune to it.
would it be best for, say, my spear, or is there another weapon you think would do better?
Entered into the bloodstream, it would be extremely deadly to anything vulnerable to toxins.
Well, I suppose we shall find out. Friends, do you think I should be the one?
And you have
You
the
have a
most reach of any of us.
See.
and the sharpest tip.
See.
And you
That's
have
what he said.
Look, they promised they were not going to
There's-
draw that.
One of the men that is like with
Draw what?
one of the men that is with
I'll tell you
Dietrich
later.
Proust gives like a little giggle at the sharpest tip and absolutely winks at Len.
What can I say?
Yeah.
And it's like, so do we need to scout first? I can go down as cat or otter.
I mean,
Gav,
At
you have
your
a
own-
map, don't you?
And he's like, yes, I have. He sort of produces not really like maps, just kind of his sketches of where they're going and which tunnels not to go down. I had time, so I produced a few of these.
which is good. We can kind of, if we need to split up, that would be very handy. Thank you, Gav. This is.
I also have these, and he starts handing out what look like classic plague doctor masks. It's goggles, covers the face,
Yes.
got a big sort of bird beak
Yes.
on it.
Oh, I didn't realize we were unmuted. This is just everything I've ever wanted.
And he's like, sorry.
The Dietrich Proust will come and he's going to take some as well. I don't know if Gav is enough for everybody. It's probably more limited to like 5 or 6 people.
Basically, anybody with a name that's going down.
Yeah. So the ones that are with Dietrich are he recognizes Henry, the guy who had been outside of the camp, right? He kind of like heard you involved, volunteered. And the other man is the most like wildly and inappropriately dressed of everybody there. Like he looks like he's still ready to like go to like a big party or something. He has like an enormous hat, a giant ostrich feather in it. Ascot. He's also like all of like 5'1".
I was not aware there was circus in town.
He gives like a oh.
Looks to Herr Prost. And he's
Wesselton.
like, yeah. Looks to Herpros like best to put him in the back.
He says he is the deadliest swordsman I've ever met.
Of course he is.
And he
And
just
this
sort of
sounds
like bows his head
sarcastic.
again.
Yes.
Somehow does not surprise me.
At least they will see him coming.
Uh,
Um, he says, I was told there would be some wiggling through some very tight tunnels, and I have some expertise in the matter.
We are fighting
my.
very large snake.
Honorine is just like,
Uh.
my.
oh my.
Oh dear.
Yeah, he gives a just as like intrigued kind of like wink towards Honorine as well.
Yeah, Rose is completely lost.
I'll tell you when you're
Um,
older.
He says it did make for an exciting night. I am Louis Claude Ducingin. It is a pleasure to meet you all.
Indeed.
His accent is 100% Montaigne.
All right, so Len is going to have owl eyes at this point, or at least going for it. Since he can now do the partial transformations, he's going for night vision.
Ooh.
So he's going to look a
Cool.
little odd, but that's a TN 15, I think. I just don't remember what I need to actually
yeah,
roll.
that
I've got a
should be-
mastery of 2.
Yeah, it should be your resolve plus the particular knack.
Oh, resolve plus owl. Okay. And keep the resolve, so 6, keep 3. Because I've got a resolve of 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm also going to have, since Gav is the one who's kind of like probably going to be doing the navigating, to try to go ahead and make a wits and street navigation criminal roll now. This is what you can have up to 4 raises on. The target number to get yourself to the layer of the thing is a 30.
Okay, so the raises is basically a plus 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys did really well in the research.
Yeah.
In between all the flirting, you research real good.
Both of those rolls had 2 10s.
Keep going.
Okay. As a 24 plus 20, so 44.
Okay, so I'm going to give you an additional freebie in this. You may choose to know where the secret entrance to the slavery area is, or to Mac's little lair.
Nice.
His target is Dietrich Tybalt, so yeah, the
Okay.
slaves. As interesting as it would be to figure out where Mac's little hideout is, Mac has basically declared himself a non-threat.
Yep.
At least that's what Gav understands.
Yep, I was just asking.
Yeah.
Henry is clearly like, he's an experienced soldier. He's happy to have like orders and place to go. You know what I'm saying? Dietrich is like, he's a veteran adventurer. Does that make sense? You don't become a master knight without it. But also, as far as master knights go, he was promoted largely as a way to keep him out of the front lines because of his skill as a blacksmith. Does that make sense? They were like, not only are you qualified, but we're going to do this as early as we can because like this skill is more valuable than having you roll around doing adventures. Louis Claude is strangely competent. Like just he's moving in something that should just like make noise every time he takes a step. Does that make sense? And he's inaudible. Ettore is coming with as well, although he looks a little like weakened, and he's actually the ones like picking up the back. He gives you instructions for the poison, which is like tip the spear at the time that you use it. Don't touch your skin afterwards, and keep it away from your face or anything that might like breathe it in.
Yeah. So Len looks at Hans and Gav. He's like, "You two, Len or Hans, you are an experienced soldier. Gav, you know the sewers. Where do we need to post people to cut off fleeing points and to keep people away?"
Yeah, Gav sort of points out, there's this exit here that goes into the river. Under no circumstances is that thing to get to the river.
These kind of like, I have enough iron bars here that I could close that off.
That would be best. The last thing we need is to not know where this thing is.
He kind of like, he hands them like towards Henry. He's like, go do that. And he's like, I said I'd be here. He's like, and you are here. He says, but you're also still a cadet. Go block things. And Henry kind of like takes and the entire bag is kind of like oh, that is really heavy. You make that look a lot lighter than he disappears to go do that. You guys also have, there's other coverage as well. Like there are enough cadets and knights and stuff like that I'm not giving names to, that are above ground covering exits, keeping people away from wells, all of that kind of stuff. Does that make sense? So like you guys have the kind of like carte blanche to hunt here. And I'm going to move us kind of with the stuff like into everybody who's going into the combat, just roll initiative, because we're going to like jump to fighting in the sewers.
I assume that's all of us, correct?
If you are going into the sewers to fight a Verschlingen, roll panache.
I think wouldn't we need to like set up order, because I'm pretty sure Cat or like Len with the poison and Cat Eyes would be either first or like right next to with Gav leading through.
When it attacks, it's going to be emerging in a room that has enough room for it to fight. So
Okay.
The order that you're going into it is going to be relatively irrelevant. And I'm not trying to do anything. I don't have like a room prep for this. We're not going to. It's a huge ass snake. Yeah, it's a huge ass snake. Anybody who wants to get to it to make an attack can. It can attack anybody that is in the room.
All right, so rolling panache. That's just panache. Nothing adds to that.
You're not. You're just rolling the individual dice. So like they become phases. So if you roll like a 1, a 3, and a 7, you just act on 1 and 3 and 7.
So for me, it'd be 1 and 3 for me.
1 and 6 for
And
me.
if you have combat reflexes, you can pick a die to reroll.
Gav rolled 2 10s.
What are we rolling? Panache?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, and we're keeping all of the dice? Well, never mind. I get it. Never mind.
I think I'm actually going to re-roll my 1.
But
the 1 is going to go first. The 1 is the first action. You can hold them to later rounds. You want to re-roll the highest die.
Okay. Well then, interesting. Okay. Well, honestly, the 10 seems more interesting. Yeah, sure. 1 and 10.
What?
Oh, I'm nervous to be the very first.
Wait, so if I
You
got a
rolled
7 and 7 and a
twice.
14.
You got a 7 to 7 and a 10.
So you go twice on 7.
Yep. Because
Yeah.
initiative dice don't explode, so it can only ever be a 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell Rose is gonna do, but she's somehow been dragged down here.
Is it too late
Bruno's
to?
biggest weapon is lightning, and we're in water.
I was just gonna say, is it too late for Len to turn to Rosa and be like, "Kiss for luck"?
Actually, no, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll give Len a kiss. How do I do that again?
You roll your swords and your resolve, and you say his name 3 times.
Okay. Yeah. So that's 6, keep 3. That was my question. 6, keep 3. 18.
So that's 1 die that he gets, and you take 1 curse
I take
die.
another die.
Uh-oh.
That's what we needed here.
And yeah, Rose is gonna do it. She's also going to say
Ettore 100% to Honorine is like, kiss for luck.
Oh.
Oh, Rose was gonna say,
Charming bastard, Tori.
and do please come back at least for me.
I can think of no better reason to fight for my life. And he's gonna turn and be like, "You can squeeze the ass if you want."
It's Usura's ass.
It's Usura's ass. Squeeze it for luck.
That is just like, that is a step too far for me.
That is fair. And then
Before they go in, we're just gonna be like, I like having you guys around, so I'm gonna try my best to keep you guys alive.
And we will do the same.
Yes.
Try not to electrocute us, if you don't mind.
See,
But definitely
If-
light that bitch up.
Indeed.
if you guys can all get out of the water when we're in there, I can do that first.
oh God.
And as many times as I can.
Yeah,
There's
I
going
imagine
to
it
be
would
no
be
way
people.
to get out of the water because you're
Oh.
going to be using water tunnels to get to different rooms.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Sorry, that's just how the sewer systems don't have like big walkways and stuff at this point. You're
Yeah.
trudging through them.
If I'm just there to keep you guys alive, that's all I need.
most of us have rubber waders on, though, rubber boots.
You don't have rubberized ones.
Oh, yeah, no,
Ah,
they would just be
damn.
like waterproof
Not
leather,
yet.
wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Balls.
Yeah, proof
Would have
leather.
been just
Well, then-
like wax coated fabric or some shit.
Yeah, well, wish me luck then. I wish all of you luck, but definitely wish me extra luck here.
Wait,
Yeah.
hang on. If I throw it at the thing and it just hits the thing,
It's
The
in the
flesh is
water.
conductive.
that
It'll go
It's-
straight to the
It's
body.
covered in water because it goes under it. Like
Yeah.
it goes under it, it's going to be dripping off of it.
I was like, what if I can loophole this? Because that's like most of the damage I've got unless I want to get up close and personal with this thing.
I guess you
Might
have
I
to-
suggest
you have to find the melee.
lightning? You could potentially lightning the roof, the ceiling, to drop rocks on it, but that might also drop rocks on us.
This was
Not
not
not if I hit far enough.
Not if you're sneaky about it.
Well, we're in combat now, so
Hey,
go thing to the
I-
snake.
Wait, no, I'm first.
Yes, you are.
There's a lot of people first, yeah.
There are.
Okay.
No.
First off, before we do anything else, I will need a roll from everybody. We just need one person to beat the thing's ambush roll.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
What are we
Len?
rolling?
I
Wits or like
What are we
resolve?
rolling?
something plus keen senses, I imagine.
Wits,
Um,
probably.
Can I activate
I
my
got to roll
Arcana?
real quick.
Because it'll make me immune to the
Oh wait.
ambush.
You
roll
have a no
anyways.
surprise one, right?
Yeah,
Then
I
you
have
can
that.
do it for everybody. We will skip the roll. You give up a drama die for it.
Woo!
That's cool.
I'm curious what it would have gotten, just because I want to know. But
So what? It's wits.
would have been a 28.
Yeah.
But we're moving on. Gav is just like, he remembered the water stirring. He's just sort of into like, the last time I did this, everybody always died.
Yeah, and I think that
Little
kind of
on
plays
edge.
into why he's rolling or why he's going last, because he got 2 10s. It's a little bit of fear.
Okay.
Want to
So-
trade? I'll trade you a 1 for a 10.
So
Can we do
Gav,
that?
Gav will see where it is in the water. It's going to be underwater for these attacks, but you can make attacks prior to its action, or you can hold your actions until it acts. A point of advice: if you have an action before 7, I'm just going to tell you this as a suggestion from the GM. Fucking hold it until 7 so that you have an active defense. Because if this thing succeeds on a hit roll, you die. There's not a roll. There's no soaking.
Oh yeah, this thing just kills you.
Fuck.
Yes. So it acts on 7. It acts only on 7. Who has an action before 7 that they want to use?
I have 2, 3, and 6. Oh, so I'm gonna hold. Len's totally holding.
Oh
You,
no.
you can spend any of them that you want before
Oh.
7, but like keep 1 is what I'm saying. So you have
Okay.
a defense to actively use.
Does Len have a target with his spear? Like, can he see the snake now that
Yes.
they know that it's okay? Yeah.
It takes an action to prep the poison, by the way. Like you can't have it like going a ton of rounds beforehand.
Oh well, then. Shit.
But the spear's only one-handed.
Well, no, the spear is two-handed. His boar spear is huge.
He's got a boar spear.
Actually,
It's heavy.
not. I looked it up. The boar spear is one-handed.
It's best used two-handed in combat. If he had a shield, it would be good one-handed, but two-handed. So he's gonna have to take a round to prep the poison.
Just an action. An action.
They're just an
That's it.
action. Take an action to prep the poison and then wait, because it's either that would be it's a coin flip. It's such a coin flip. No, he's gonna have to hold it. He
Is
also
it-
doesn't want the water to dilute the poison. So
That's a good point.
Okay.
Is it only like you only need one to defend? 'Cause
You
I
need to have
two-
one held action to get an active defense. Otherwise, you have to give up 2 actions to. You have to throw away 2 actions to have an active defense if your actions come after it.
Okay, I'll hold to actively for an active defense.
You only need to hold 1. If you have more than
Yeah.
1 action, you can take an action before that.
anything your runes
Yeah.
can do besides lightning?
I can increase damage.
You have like a scouting one? That'd be cool.
Increased damage
Well-
would be good.
I mean, I could check to see where it is, but I'd have to close my eyes, and that's not active defense.
Nope. Yeah,
Gav's already pointed it out, so you got. you do
Yeah,
know what it is.
exactly.
if you can boost some
Um,
damage, that would be great. But
I can boost damage to it, but I don't know what I can do to damage it. I have a knife.
oh, it's
You have
your
a knife.
increase
You also-
only yours.
I have my sword.
You have a knife and a sword. The sword
I
is
think
a
I have 2
3k2
knives
weapon.
and a sword.
You also have the Sinnerth knife that belonged to Blue Eye.
I thought it was just like a dagger.
It is, but it's a Sinnerth
Okay.
dagger.
Yes.
Cernith dagger. I keep saying it wrong. Sorry.
Do I have any idea whether the sword or the Sinnerth blade, did I say that correct?
Cernith.
Smith.
Cernith. Thank you. My sword or the Sinnerth dagger is going to do more.
So the sword is a 3k2 heavy weapon. The dagger is a 2k2 or is a 1k2 dagger. However, the Cernith dagger has the benefit of it ignores armor. Like if something has like damage reduction or anything like that, it just ignores it.
Mm.
So that's a toss up in this situation. You don't actually know if this thing has armor or not.
I'll go for the sword
Okay.
just because I don't know.
Okay. So the target number to hit it is 15 because it's swimming.
And can I hit the strength rune that I just got?
That's a separate action. You have to take an action to do that.
Okay.
So if you want to use the action to power up your strength rune, you can. And a separate action to attack.
Yeah. Because I have 2 turns before 7.
Okay, let me do it this way. Who has an action on 1? Okay, so what's your first action on 1? Powering up the strength rune?
Yes.
Okay, first action on 1, holding it for an active defense?
Yep,
Mhm.
active defense.
Okay, who has actions on 2? Who has actions on 3?
That's me poisoning the spear.
Wait, no, I
Okay.
have that. Not 3.
Okay. Other actions on 3, Dietrich Paus was like a room behind you. He's using his first action to join the combat. Same with Louis Claude. So actions on 4. Actions on 5. What you doing?
I don't know. I am wondering, first of all, if I rolled correctly, because I have 4 actions.
That's right. You are a Montaigne, and they are good at panache.
Okay.
Yep.
I just wanted to make sure, because everyone else seemed to have 2, and I was like, so
We're not as
holding,
panache as you.
I'm holding my 5 action. I also have one on 7.
Okay. So that's round 5. Round 6. Attacking now.
Yeah.
Okay. We didn't roll. You're actually activating your strength just for the narrative speed of 15 minutes left. I think it's like a target number 10 or something.
Wait,
Just go ahead and assume that you have the benefit of it.
To
Go
be
ahead.
clear, weren't you going to hold one for active defense? Because you don't have any other actions, and the snake goes next. So if you swing and
Wait,
piss it
active
off,
defense.
Okay.
so you can pump the rune, active defense, and next round swing.
Yeah.
Well, and you're just holding it until you're attacked. It's just a held action. So if it makes its attack and misses, then everybody can unload because attacks don't carry over to the next round. Does that make sense?
So, yeah.
Okay.
So
So
I think Len is also on a 6 and holding that action just in case.
okay. Then actions on 7. What's what was an honoring doing?
I have 2 active defense, and I think there's nothing else I can do for spells, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I don't know what else my choice is.
Do you want to? I'm assuming that in this time you could have acquired a knife or a pistol or something like that if you want.
I think she had a knife, but it was like ritualistic.
Do you want to take a swing at the poisonous giant snake in the swamp water, or are you just gonna hang for now?
I'm gonna just hang for now and just hold it in case.
Okay. Honoring, what are you doing?
We can see the snake, right? Are we coming up?
You have enough of a sense of it, like you see the shadow of it in the water. Does that make sense? You can make an attack against it. It has not like risen out of the water to attack.
And can I hold that action until after Len goes?
You can.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm waiting for Len.
Okay. Is there anybody who would like? Do you guys want to let the thing attack, resolve it attacking in its defense, and then everybody unload, or does somebody want to interrupt to try to attack it before its action?
We're gonna have to wait for it to come out. I feel like pop out like a jack in the box and then shank it in the neck meats.
We're all just like trading glances, like looking around, like nodding at each other, like silently hyping each other up is how I'm picturing this.
Silently crying.
Silently going, come on, NPC meat shield.
I think Honorine is just incredibly like she's never fought anybody before. Are you kidding me? Like she's kind of like she's reaching for the closest hand and like holding it very, very tightly, like bone breaking tightly, kind of thing.
Oh, is it Honorine and Rosa in the back?
It's probably the sister connection there.
Okay, so it's so fast. It's just a shadow that seems to like rise out of the water and it's throwing itself towards Runa. What is your defensive knack? What's your defense at?
What?
Defense. Pull up your it's in your skills. Where's your defense?
Yeah.
It's a 1.
Oh, it's a 1. I thought you said 1.
Drama die that.
Okay.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it got a 17 to hit. If you have a defensive knack of 1, then it needs a 10 to hit you. So it will hit, but you now have an active defense to roll. Okay. So you're going to roll your wits, which is your defensive and your defense skill, and you have to beat a 17. You are welcome to spend a drama die on this.
Which
I
would be
will.
+1 keep and then an extra keep 1.
Okay. So 4 keep 3.
What's your wits?
2.
2 and 1 defense plus the drama die. So yeah, 4
Yes.
keep 3.
Thank you.
You can spend more than 1 drama die, by the way, if you want to. I'm fine with that. I understand how terrifying this is.
I'm living La Vida Loca.
Oh!
Damn.
Awesome.
Let's
Matrix
go.
again. Just snake comes lunging.
Okay. So he plunges. You can see where like brick dusts behind it, like in like where it struck, as Runa like throws herself out of the way at the last moment.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Boy, you best hit it.
You better.
You guys who want to
Yep.
make attacks now, you can literally like roll every other attack roll that you have, like because
Okay,
it does not have another action until next round.
Is the sword of 3 keep 2 for damage?
Yes, strength +3, keep 2. but you have to hit it first. The target number is 15. It's still
Wait.
considered to be swimming, even though it's emerged
Wait,
to
yeah,
attack.
strength, knack, plus. Sorry, could you go over that again? I'm so sorry.
You have to hit it first, which is your
Yes.
attack knack plus finesse. So you should have like a heavy weapon skill.
I don't think I marked it down.
Okay, 57 to hit this
On your
guy.
attack roll.
Holy
Yeah.
shit!
That'll hit.
Yes.
Oh shit! I forgot about calling raises. It's too late.
You did forget about calling raises.
Oh fuck. Well.
Did you add your swords die?
Oh, I did not add my swords die. No. So let's add my.
You
one
didn't
extra-
call raises beforehand, so extra.
No. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I suppose this turn, but this is the poison shank. What is heavy weapon 4 plus brawn? Keep 2.
3
3 plus brawn. Keep 2. All right.
And the poison is resolved separately.
Okay. Do I call raises on damage or damage just straight damage?
You call raises to get raises on damage.
Oh,
Does that
okay.
make sense?
That makes sense. I'm gonna call 1 raise, so I'm gonna get at least. I need to get at least 20.
No.
Oh,
No. You already made your hit roll. You hit.
okay. There's no raises on. Oh, you call raises on the 2 hit to get bonuses 2 damage. Is that
Yes.
okay? Never mind. All right, so 16.
Okay. So you have successfully hit it with the poison that Itori has made. This poison, let's just say there's some backstory to it, but here's how it works. It will do 10k10 once a round, 9k9 the next round, 8ka the next round, 7k7 the next round, until it falls off after 1k1.
Ooh.
All right, so do I roll that now?
You're gonna
Or
roll
who rolls
10k. So you roll the 16. I'm gonna roll its brawn against that, and now you're gonna roll now you're gonna roll the 10k10, the most potent of the damage, and then I'm gonna roll its brawn against that.
Okay.
Also, because it's a boar spear, and he's done at least
54 damage.
every.
He would
10
delay
foot-
its. He
Yeah,
would delay
every
its
10
action, but it's already spent its action.
Yeah.
It doesn't lose its next round.
Okay. I see.
Yep.
I'm like, it's a 10 now. We can all beat the shit out of it for a turn.
Well, it's already spent its action. It has no
Yeah.
actions left.
Yeah,
You guys can spend every action you have.
Yeah.
Eat it.
So how much damage did it actually take out of that?
So I'm rolling against the 16 that you did first.
Oh well.
And it got a 39. So but it still keeps the 16 flesh wounds. Like those
Okay.
will add to the poison.
Mhm.
So now roll 10k10.
I did. That's the 54 you see right there.
Okay, so I haven't rolled against that. So
And does the 10k10 explode? Do 10s explode?
yeah,
there?
Yep.
all 10 damage dice explode.
Okay.
Okay, so 54 plus 16 is 70. I got a 34. So for every 20 that it misses by, it's gonna take a drama die.
Dramatic wound.
Or yeah, it gets
Sorry.
It just powers up.
That's not what we wanted at all.
It's become a Dragon Ball Z villain. Sorry. So minus 34, minus 20, minus 20. So it takes 3 dramatic wounds on the first attack against it,
Damn.
and it has 15 remaining.
Oh, well, if that's all.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is a baby. It has 11 remaining.
Okay, so Gav raised once and got a 30 for his attack on using his. He pulls out a giant meat hook. Like, because, knives are too small for his hands.
Yep.
So he pulls out this big honking meat hook, and as the Verschlingen kind of rockets past him to attack Aruna, he basically jams this thing into its side and rakes it down the Verschlingen's body. And so that's 1k2, and then 4 for his brawn, extra 1k0 for large, and that's for the raise. Okay, and I'm keeping 3. Okay, that is
So just a quick to address Bruna, you don't have a swordsmanship style knack that you've done, so you're just going to roll your raw finesse. Then you just have to get a 15.
Okay.
I would suggest not calling raises.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
So that's 23 damage.
24.
Nice.
Okay, so the 24 will hit. So you're going to go ahead and roll your strength plus your 3k2 for your heavy weapon, and you keep the 2.
It's an extra die for damage.
That's what the 3k2 is.
Wasn't it
Your sword
already
does 3k2
3K2?
plus your brawn, but you only keep 2, so it's 3 plus your brawn plus, and you just keep 2 dice. That's it. You didn't call any raises or anything.
Okay.
You said it was a 23 that you got for damage, right, Gav?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's currently at 23 flesh wounds. So
It's got 2
adds
attacks.
another 14 from
Raise. I'm gonna raise once.
Okay, where is my
3 of them.
so
Oop,
the
finesse
23
is-
plus 14, it's going to soak. So it should be up to 37 now.
This is not
Yeah, I raised
good.
once again. Got a 31. So for damage, I just rolled this. 7k3. Yeah.
Stop rolling so many dice, Yosa.
That's me.
That's cheating.
That's actually
Somehow.
rolling.
Cheating.
That's 26 damage. So get back here.
You said 26?
Yeah.
26 plus 37.
63.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I just barely hit. You said it was a target 15 to hit?
Yeah,
Okay, thank God. 17 then. Okay. That's
I think I got it. Wow. Okay, I got a 55 again. So that it had a 70. So that's not going to be enough to do 2 dramatic wounds, but it is up to 4 out of its 14 now.
I am not done with you, monster. Get back here.
then so that is whew, okay.
Kind of surprised the scary
For
IDO,
17 damage as well.
the scary gauntlet doesn't do more damage.
Oh, this is just sword. I haven't tapped into Scary Man yet. I was gonna ask
okay.
about that for next round actually. So I just,
Tony-
So it'll soak the 17.
Mhm. I don't remember what that does for me. Is there something that I would bet? Like, is there a way I can benefit by kind of like tapping into the Scary Man's powers?
Not right now. It's been something that you've been using to like build up your Drakenizen and stuff like that, but you haven't yet like developed a connection that would allow you to do something supernatural with it. Does that make
fair.
sense?
Yep.
You had an experience before where when you kind of like slashed along it using your panzer hand, like it was drawing blood out of it. All right. Who else has an action they have not yet resolved for this round?
I do, but I don't think I can actually do much because I don't think my fire starting is high enough to set a wet snake on fire.
I don't think it is either.
So what what Honorine is going to do? Jesus Christ.
They want to be me.
My head hurts so bad right now.
Tell us to stop.
What Honorine is going to do is try to do like first aid, like I don't know, help direct other people who are coming to the, like, she's just gonna try to provide moral support because I think that's all she can do right now.
And that's fine. And it's fine to like have people sort of like bowing out of the combat at the moment. So, all right. So I'm not going to have Dietrich and Louis Claude join in the fight this round. Does that make sense? I'm going to go loop into the next round. Len can roll poison at the start of it. Everybody rolls their panache again for new actions.
All right, so let me roll poison here real quick before everything goes. Roll 9, keep 9. Come on, explosions. 49. That was a kind of a weak roll.
Or is combat reflexes a thing, and you can use each like each new initiative count, or is it like a once per combat?
Each new initiative.
Okay, cool.
9 and 7.
3 and 5.
Mm,
This is
6, 9, and 7.
damage.
interesting.
Okay.
This is not
So
good
s-
for me.
10 and 6.
17 plus 33. Or sorry, 17 plus 49. So it is going to take another dramatic wound. It's at 5 out of 14. So we're at time right now. So what I'd like to do is is everybody okay with me kind of like fast forwarding through this fight?
Yeah.
What I'd like
Yeah.
to do is I'm going to give it 2 more attack rolls before it goes down. Does that make sense? And
Yep.
I'm going to randomly determine who it's going to attack. And I just want them to roll their defense and make sure that they kind of like survive the attack. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So,
The anxiety, I can feel it through the internet right now.
you guys are putting out damage fast enough that I have a sense it would be about 2 more rounds.
Okay.
So that's why
Okay. That's fair.
I will also say that, like, Gav, you will have permission to buy a dot of, like, exploit weakness for Schlingen after this.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
So
Because those
Okay.
jerks at the academy
So-
wouldn't give me nothing.
it's going to get a 4K. Ooh, that is a 33 on somebody.
Oh.
So,
Come on, meat shield.
on
Roll
Gav. That's a 33 against Gav.
Okay.
I didn't say it earlier, by the way. You do have a drama die from the scene with Hanalor.
Yeah.
The smooch of
Alrighty.
drama die.
So I'm rolling my defense. He is going to use both his Cernith hand and the meat hook to try and deflect, try and parry him. So I get a free raise on that. And then I roll my, what is it, wits? No, finesse. Finesse?
Finesse plus defense.
Yeah, okay. So,
With the drama die.
with drama die. Yeah, drama die.
Yeah. Don't second guess this one, buddy.
Yeah. You can do more than one if you want, by the way.
Oh my god.
What?
Please don't.
It's a lot of ones and twos, boys.
No.
11, 19, 24, 29. That's not enough.
Give me.
You're gonna let him re-roll, right?
Do you have a drama die to reroll?
I used them both.
Okay.
You had another one.
Wait.
Though.
What?
No,
Yeah,
no,
shouldn't you
no.
have 3 at this point? What's your lowest score?
It's 2.
2, and he gave you a bonus one, so you have 1
I-
drama die.
Did I not use one up by activating my Arcana?
Did.
Or is that just something that
Oh,
always
shit.
happens?
Shit,
Oh,
you
that's
did.
right.
Yeah. So
Where did you use the other drama die?
He just used
I
two.
used 2 for this now, and I used
Oh.
1 to negate the surprise.
Oh shit, yeah. Fuck.
Yeah. So that is a 28.
Is there anything as a healer I can do?
Is there anything as a Strega that I can do?
Is there anything as a guy who turns
Can I
into a
be-
bear sometimes? that
The
I can
only
do?
thing that helps me, that may help me, is I have pain tolerance and toughness, but I don't. One of them's for wound checks, the other one's for resisting torture and what my cripple is.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to allow other people to contribute drama dice to you, but here is the contingency on that. Okay, you have to like, in doing so, you're going to give up 2 drama dice. He's going to get 1, and you're going to like. This is like a monologue thing. Like, tell me something that Gav's character has done that has impacted yours.
So you have to have 2 drama dice to
You
give up.
you
to
give
give
up
him
2
one.
drama dice to give him 1.
Then I can't. I've used mine.
Can 2
I
of us
haven't
give
used
up
mine.
1 so we cash in the 2 to make his a 1?
Yes, it's
Okay.
I will allow that.
Comrade, are we
Yep.
good?
Comrade, yes. Gav has shown me how gentle and wonderful a soul can be, even when they appear to be a brute. Gav has a purity of soul and this wonderful artistry that you would never expect from someone like him. He takes care of children, he takes care of rats, yet he is not afraid to step up when the situation calls for it and put his life on the line for people he may never meet and never know. Gav makes me want to be a better person. I might not be that better person, but he makes me want to be a better person.
All right, and Runa was also contributing 1, right?
Yeah. And I have to go after that. Fuck. Gav from the very first time that he met everyone has shown like his heart to everyone and like is so protective and is just a great person. I don't know if I'm doing this right. But has never failed to come in when someone needs help. And that is something that I can't think of words right now. And that's something that has really touched Runa.
Anyone else have points to spare for poor Gav?
I do.
I do have 2
one.
still.
Oh.
I haven't used any today. I've got 2.
Oh.
So you guys can, so Gav, right now you have the option, I will let you spend the drama die, and either add it directly to the roll you already have or to reroll.
I will reroll.
Okay.
Okay, so that's because that dice roll, that was some garbage. Okay, so I am rolling my defense now.
Roy and I are holding
You-
hands so tight right now.
Do you have the exploit weakness for Schlingen already?
I do. I did not consider that at friggin' all. I have 2 knacks or 2 points in that.
Oh shit.
Please roll both of those.
Oh my god. Okay, so we may not have to. Thank you. That is an extra 18 to my 28.
So there's this moment where you kind of like remember how it was bearing down on Roland. You know what I'm saying? Like the angle of its attack that suddenly twisted and caught him by surprise because of snakes have so many joints, they can move in so many ways, that like was what caught Roland. And you see the sort of like kink in its neck, and it's like literally the memory of your friend's death that lets you know like which way to dodge. Does that make sense? and like still it like brushes your chest. It's so close and like slams into stone.
Yeah, just as it's coming by, it's like, not today, monster.
Okay, so the last attack that it's going to make is going to be against Honoree.
Honorine, who's way back in the tunnel behind everybody.
Oh, that is a fair point.
Yeah, no,
So-
that's
Yeah,
fine.
no, Honorine
Honorine
and
is with
Rosa
Rosa in the
with
back.
Rosa back down the tunnel.
Yeah,
Kyle,
no, that's
shut up.
I'm
Sorry.
repli-
You said, but okay.
No, that's fine.
Yes,
It
dear.
is it's more that it is badly wounded at this point. It's trying to flee and like it's going through the tunnel that Honorine and Rosa are going through. You have to beat an 18 with your defensive max.
Okay.
You're rolling your wits.
Uh-huh.
You can add drama dice. If you don't have a defensive knack, you just don't add anything.
I was just gonna say I don't see anything under defense snacks, so I don't think I have one.
But you do have a drama die.
Yeah. Which I am using.
Which honestly, versus a 1 in a defense stack is better because you keep an extra 1.
What? Say that again.
I mean, it works out better if you had only like a 1 in a defensive knack instead of it being like whatever your wits plus 1. You're getting an extra kept die, which is theoretically more
Well,
beneficial.
the defense knack always adds. So
Yeah, in the like low defense type thing.
there's no downside to like buying defensive knacks.
Oh yeah, it's just always good. It's they're good to have.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. So I think I'm actually. So I kind of want to save the drama die for a reroll if I need it, instead of adding it.
What are you doing?
I'm rolling
It's just
defense.
defense.
Okay.
I think that was just a stem.
25.
Whew.
Oh, thank
Good
God.
Good shit.
Which is like the point where like between the poison and the wounds and everything, it just like goes still. And then the skin of it begins to crack open. And you like watch as like the snake like cracks like down along the spine. And the like you guys see it looks like something kind of like pours into the water and like there's a form that like rips upwards and out of it and you see it just goes straight through the ceiling, like rips through stone. You can see like moonlight coming through. You guys have been in a sewer that is like kind of covered like with little like muscly like mushroom formations and like strange colored molds and like Gav has warned everybody like don't touch anything, everything is poison. Does that make sense? And you're watching like new mushroom blooms literally grow on the wall as it dies, and you like everybody's kind of like covering their face, and like Louis Claude, who is like the one that does not have a mask, is kind of like but as you look up you realize like what is growing out of the sewers is a tree trunk. And it's not a tree trunk that's been twisted and corrupted. It's an oak. And it's like continuing to grow upwards and upwards, and like branches are spreading out. There's like an initial danger of kind of like some stone fall and stuff like that, but as you like start to climb out, it's grown completely through a street, and it already stretches dozens of feet into the sky, branches in every direction, and there's green grass pushing up between the cobblestones of the pathway, and you can see ivy growing up the walls of different buildings in fine art.
That is
Flowers
so
are
cool.
literally blooming on rooftops,
That is
like
so
amidst
cool.
thatch.
What? Gav's like, it doesn't corrupt the land, it steals it.
Returns it.
And now it is coming back. I needed to draw this.
And you see all over in Fine Art, there are people that are kind of like coming out to like look at this thing, this like, and it's like literally stretching for blocks. There's like vegetation that's growing up the sides of buildings, like grasses that are like growing all the way up to like the base of homes. There's like no longer any mud anywhere in sight. It's all living, and it's not alone. There are trees like forcing their way out through windows.
Did it make the water drinkable again?
Yes.
Oh shit! Oh, whoa!
And it's a moment of just sort of like serene, surprising beauty. As like heartbeats kind of slow, the like very real tension and danger of like the last while passes.
Len's gonna
that's
get
where
real
we're gonna-
huggy.
That's where we're gonna drop the curtain for the
Rune
night.
is just like reaching out to touch anyone who is near to be like, whoa, like,
Rosa has absolutely grabbed Len's hand.
oh.
Wow.
Shit.
That was also you bastard,
Oh.
but you bastard.
Bruh.
Honorine, after having like screamed as it like lunged toward her, is just like, she's like whispering to who's next to her, Ettore, Rosa, whatever.
Ettore
Rosa.
is probably
Rosa.
nearby.
Tori.
So wait, Len's in front and Rosa's in back, and they're holding hands. Bullshit.
We moved after it died. Don't
We
ruin
moved.
this.
Anyway,
I mean, you guys had to crawl up and out, so I'm assuming
So
this is street side.
she was just sort of like, is it dead?
Yep. Make sure somebody took the head just in case.
There's no possible way. Like
Oh,
every single part of it has become whatever this tree is.
Oh, okay, perfect.
The
Right.
explorers
True.
are going to be so mad. Nothing
True
to
night.
study.
Diedrich Proust kind of like, I'm going to put men on this to protect it, to make so that no one cuts it down or uses it for lumber.
I am going to need a drink and a book.
See.
I threw
Look.
my flask at the Inquisition, so we will need to go somewhere else.
Oh shit, the Inquisition.
Oh.
That's for tomorrow. The night we drink.
And that's probably where the curtain, like, oh shit, the Inquisition. Curtain.
Yeah.
Curtain.
All right. So I'm giving 5 experience to everybody for tonight.
Thank you.
Ooh.
One to get for the
Um,
for like the cute dateness.
Yes.
Absolutely
100%.
wired up the top, and for the whole surviving thing.
And then we have one more.
Oh my gosh.
Oh god, who
So
gets
many
that
goat
one?
things. I say the other one goes to Honorine for being like, shut the fuck up, this is my danger.
Mine was gonna be honoring for going after Ettore.
Yep, and for being like, the hell we can't, and kind of sparking the whole like trio action that started the riot. So there's multiple reasons for Honorine to get the other one.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I did like just Honorine's like, I'm really fed up with being hunted by these guys.
I've had enough.
I cast
Okay.
rock. Yeet.
I cast fire on Flask.
Yep.
I mean, I did make my nickname. I didn't ask how big the room is. So,
Yep.
And I burned all
Feel
of
it.
my drama dice on that one. So
same.
Ooh.
I feel like everybody's collectively like unclenching.
Yeah, I'm,
Yeah.
gonna
I'm
need to
working
smoke-
on it.
I'm gonna need
Yeah.
to smoke after this.
I'm gonna need an edible and some ice cream in at least an hour before I can crash.
Oh, ice cream sounds so
Same.
good.
I need dinner.
I'm so
we should-
hungry.
Yeah.
We're
we
still
should-
on stream, right?
Oh yeah.
Hey!
We should wrap.
This is
Yeah.
after we're off in Zoom conversations for anyone who was wondering.
Yeah.
I think they figured that out.
This is what
Yeah.
green room is like with us.
Yep. Siosa, you want to lead us out?
Yeah. So it was very it is a wonderful session. I really enjoyed it. I want to thank everybody for being here, everybody who's watching us, whether on Twitch or on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, if you're on YouTube, please hit like and subscribe. Words are very difficult tonight, apparently. Also, leave a comment. Helps the algorithm, helps people find us. We love having everybody here. The world is a topsy-turvy place right now. There are terrible things happening in game and terrible things happening in the real world. There's a comment on our Discord earlier that really resonated with me about that everybody we meet is broken in some way that we just can't see. And so while it makes it, some people make themselves very easy to hate, just remember that they're broken too. And so if you can't always be nice to them, or if you can't always be kind to people, and some people don't deserve your kindness, but you can always be nice, and you can always set an example for others to make the world a better place, make the world one we all want to live in. So thank you very much. Hopefully we'll see you next week for Shadow of the Wactturm. Hopefully less giant poison snakes. And we will see you next Sunday.
Bye, everybody.
Night, y'all.